attachments from Warner Sales and Service. If you haven't been to see them, take a ride today. They're easy to find and anxious to meet you just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona on the Greenway, New London Road.
Warner's, where quality still counts at Warner's.
I'm Bill Hemmer, and these are the most impactful moments in American history. The man who would become the world's most wanted criminal, the leader of a ruthless and violent terrorist organization, a self-identified caliphate with a $25 million bounty on his head. He was Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Baghdadi ruled from the playbook established by Zarqawi, using the same vicious tactics to raise and spread the presence of his jihadist group, known as ISIS, across the Middle East. Baghdadi was able to evade capture and detection for nearly a decade. That is, until October 26, 2019. Baghdadi was surrounded by United States Special Operations Forces. Baghdadi detonated a suicide vest, killing himself. It was a significant display of the power and precision of U.S. intelligence in their fight in the war on terror. I'm Bill Hemmer, Fox News.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today.
It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
First News with Keeler in the Morning on WIBX.
I don't know. I do not understand it, but I will tell you this. This might be the highest quality travel mug I think I've ever had in my hand before.
Did you open it yet?
Well, because there's more inside.
There's more
there
inside.
Is there marijuana in here?
If there is, give it to me.
Don't give him ideas. Mike
I
runs
don't
with
want you
things like
doing
that.
doobies again, Bill.
Doobies. That's right. It always backfires when I try to be cool.
Oh, this is cool.
It's for the dog. It's a scarf for the dog.
Oh, a scarf for the dog. Or your wife.
See, Bill, now you got.
My wife might wear this.
All right, not going there. Not
Fine,
going there.
let's go with the Amish look tonight, all right? No?
I'm sorry, Mike.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Beth, it's your fault. This whole show was
I know.
derailed.
Yep.
Listen.
That's what I'm good at.
It's been an interesting morning, and I'm trying to hold it all together here. Honest to God.
It's going to go off the rails from here.
Good morning, Mike Garrett.
Maybe.
Good morning. Yeah, you're the one. You're the one that gets to reap the misery of.
I'm the one that's going to push you off the rails.
He's
of
the
this,
perfect
this
person
train.
to come in following.
Let's keep it simple.
yeah.
How about that?
Simple Farm. Mike Garrett is from Simple Farms. And tell me about Simple Farms.
Simple Farm. So we are a meat and flour farm. So we raise all types of meat from pork to lamb,
Okay.
beef, veal, chicken, and then we combine that with the sunflowers. So I've been doing sunflowers for over 30 years. I've traveled around the world looking at different farms and finally decided to pull the trigger and do my own thing.
How large is your? So we were in somewhere in Europe and they had a sunflower seed. I'm sorry, a sunflower field.
Yeah.
And it was just filled with blossomed sunflowers. It was unbelievable.
So
how large is yours?
So it's a trick question from the standpoint of because I plant all season long.
Okay.
So every week I plant because we harvest and then we go to the farmers markets, the Oneida County market. Beth is a huge supporter of ours. Clinton Market, Old Forge. So we're planting all season long. So in total, I plant about 10 acres. And then we have the big sunflower festival August,
I see
September
that.
are our big.
September 19th and 20th.
Yep, there are big weeks.
Is that a big week for sunflowers?
Well, it is because of how I plant.
I see.
So I determine when it is. So I smash it.
Right.
Our Sunflower Festival is smashed between a lot of other events going
You're
on.
timing it in there.
And timing it
and then is it true that the sunflowers, which are really, it's an amazing plant.
It is, yeah.
Because it has the stalk and such a large blossom.
Yep.
And how the stalk holds the weight of that blossom is
it's amazing. Yeah,
it is amazing.
Ours are all cut flowers. They're designed for cut flowers, so
I
they're
see.
smaller heads.
The smaller
and
ones.
they're
But doesn't
they follow the sun?
They follow the sun.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's the coolest
and
thing.
then you get the one that is a special needs sunflower, and so everybody else turns back in the morning except for that one is like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
it just dies.
It's going to end up over here eventually anyway. So
it's the younger generation that doesn't want to put the effort in to turn and then turn back. They're just like, you know what? I'm just going to hang out this direction.
I think the honey over-pollinated, the bees over-pollinated, and he's got a headache.
The sad part is that we have bees on the property, but the sunflowers that I grow are pollinless. So all these bees are working their tails off for nothing.
For nothing. So you don't have to pollinate.
You don't have to pollinate, no. So, but my seed bill is really high because every year I've got to buy new seed, so they're not regenerating from that standpoint.
These are Gen Alpha sunflowers, by the way.
Your event is the Sunflower Festival.
Sunflower Festival.
Is this the first one?
No, sir. This is going to be the fourth one.
Sorry, I apologize.
No, that's okay. So this will be our fourth one this year. We're adding more events. So last year we did 2 wine tastings, 2 yoga nights. This year we're going to have the Sunflower Festival. I've got 3 wine tastings. I've got at least 2 yoga nights. We're doing a beer tasting. We're going to do a pumpkin carving. We bring out crafters from local crafters.
Yeah.
And
so cool.
It's becoming an event center.
So you're kicking off the fall season.
We kick off the fall season.
And boy, September 19th, 20th, you never know, but it can be a beautiful weekend.
Yeah.
Almost, you can argue it's best time of the year.
Yeah.
Because it's
you're usually past the real humid hot weather.
Right. Yeah. It tends to be drier, a little cooler, but you still get during the day, you get the sunshine in mid 70s, low 80s, which is really the sweet spot for me.
Go ahead.
A couple of points I want to make with Mike being here. A lot of them might recognize his significant other, Jen, with Slate Creek
Farms.
That's the meat part of the business. That Slate Creek is also a great vendor at our market, also with Clinton and Old Forge. And just not to bring up bad experiences, but the one thing I like about Mike is he is a take lemons and make lemonade kind of guy.
Okay.
He is the Slate Creek was one of the farms that suffered loss of structures last winter. And they dealt with it. I don't think he ended up losing livestock, although one of the barns that collapsed did have livestock in it.
Yeah, we moved him into the other barn.
Yep. But what Mike did was he took the leftover wood from the collapsed barn and used his photography skills and made product.
Yep. So we do. So artwork is a big thing. So I take photos on the farm, have them printed on glass, and then I custom make the frames. And then this year with the barn collapsing this last year, I make serving trays. So I take different things.
So he's always thinking of a solution.
Out of the barn.
He's part of Simple Farms is becoming part of a very quickly growing part of agriculture, which is agritourism, which you're actually taking the people out of the supermarket and immersing them in the agriculture of things. And a lot of people are involved in agritourism don't even know it. If you ever go berry picking, if you go someplace and shuck your own corn, if you go apple picking, that's agritourism.
Yeah.
So he takes his people and immerses them in this enormously beautiful place with all these sunflowers, and then he serves them wine and beer.
Gotta love that.
The guy's always thinking. He's a think outside the box kind of guy.
It sounds like a crazy room in here already, so I'm open for ideas.
Okay.
So one of the new things that we're doing this year is we're going to have 6-foot water tanks that are going to be standing up, and there'll be 2 of them next to each other, and you're going to be like a hamster in there, and you're going to race people up and down. So that's one of our crazy ideas.
All right.
I'm very fortunate.
That sounds like something that needs to be part of the American Heart Run Walk next year.
Exactly. That could be
expo.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. And you're located in Remsen.
Remsen.
And the festival is coming up September 19th, 20th. Are you open during the winter, or is it just summer, spring, summer?
This time we're not, but
Okay.
We'll start doing events.
And I'm assuming
May.
you show up at the
Yep, they're
the
Oneida
farmers
County
market,
Public
yes, sir.
Market.
farmers
Yep.
market. And any other products you want people to know that you have? What else do you have?
Just meat and sunflowers
and
and artwork.
sunflower.
Well, yeah, you've got your artwork. You've got note cards that you've used your artwork on. So
Okay, and all
beautiful
those
stuff.
things, too.
Yeah, so we got a whole
I-
array of things.
I do have to say, I think it is so beneficial to buy from a local meat provider.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know what you're getting. Today the prices are so high, and you don't know what you're getting.
Yep.
So if you can go to a local farmer, you're keeping the money local. It's all a good thing.
And we tell people, talk to your farmer, have a conversation with your farmer. So there's different marketing things out there,
Okay.
whether it's all natural, organic, or whatever.
Yeah.
Have a conversation with the farmer,
The producer
itself. And you can see us at the markets. You can come to the farm, see how we treat our animals. We'll tell you the story behind them, and then you can make your own decision from there.
And do you have like bags of sunflower seeds?
I will have some.
You will this year.
Yep. So when you come to the Sunflower Festival or any of the
A
events,
lot of people love those.
yeah, we'll have those
And
available.
starting
Baseball
late summer,
players.
you do have your cut sunflowers at the market.
Yes. So
you
starting
want a
after
bouquet
4th of July, we'll have sunflowers, fresh
Okay.
cut sunflowers and bouquets at the markets.
Love it. All right, good stuff.
Thanks, Mike.
We appreciate it, Mike. Thank you very much. And as I said, I've never seen a travel mug quite like this. This is really high quality. Very cool. It's got a
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, it is First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Bill, we expect Bill back later this week. He is not in today. We do have a busy program, though, and we'll talk to Katie Iello, Utica council person, and we'll also talk to the city controller, Frank Miola, coming up later this morning on the show. I want to get to some comments that came in late yesterday about what I said or what I was implying. I was just reading the report from the controller's office. It does sound bizarre. We'll talk more about that quite a bit here this morning. First, we'll go to Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio and the Northeast blizzard, what impact it's having on flights in the Northeast. Obviously, we didn't get much snow up here, and I'm grateful for that. We just have a dusting this morning, although it is still raining here this morning. Good morning, Tanya Powers. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. How bad is it down there?
Well, Central Park got 19 inches, a little over 19 inches of
wow.
snow. That's the ninth biggest storm on record for New York City. Across the river in Newark, 27.2 inches.
Holy cow.
Providence actually set a state record in Rhode Island with 37.9 inches of snow. Philadelphia got 14 inches, Boston 17.1. Their final number is going to be released in about half an hour, so it may be more than 17.1 when that's actually released.
Wow, so I didn't realize it was that bad down there. Some places getting almost 3 feet, and New York City got 1.5 feet. So the city's completely shut down this morning, probably, right?
Well, I mean, we don't have our travel ban expired yesterday around noon. They had made sure, from Sunday night into Monday when the worst of the snow was falling, they, put a travel ban in place. So non-essential people were off the road so the plows could, be out there, and the Department of Sanitation could, work through the salt spreaders and see if they could keep the roads passable at least. Which seems to have worked. I have not pulled up the snowplow map this morning, but I know yesterday, as of last night, every road in New York City, every street had been plowed at least once. We have there's a map you can actually look at. It'll tell you when the last time your street was plowed, how many hours it has been, depending on what color it is. So that kind of helps people, figure out, okay, am I going to be able to go anywhere or not? The trains and stuff they didn't stop running. I think there may have been, service on maybe one line or two that were, hampered. But for the most part, the trains kept running. The MTA kept going. I kept seeing buses from time to time yesterday, even a little bit before the travel ban expired. So I know people were still managing to get around. Power outages are a big issue today. In Massachusetts, they have about 250,000 people without power now. In New Jersey, about 36,000. Delaware, 28,000. Rhode Island, 20,000. So we were very lucky here in the city and didn't really have a ton of power outages. So there's at least that. The flight updates, though, I mean, I think there were at least, I want to say 10,000 flights that were canceled through today, and I think 8,000 more were delayed, something like that. There were a lot. But obviously that's a lot of rebooking and a lot of a lot of people getting to where they're going. They're going to have to wait on that because there's a lot of people trying to dig out, and some transit service in New Jersey I know is on a holiday service schedule, which means it doesn't run as often as it normally would. We got a warning here in the city this morning of black ice because most of the snow that we got was all just very fluffy. There wasn't like a big layer of ice underneath it or anything. And a lot of that, of course, overnight refroze. We have temperatures colder now than it was at any point in the last 24 hours. So all that stuff obviously refroze.
Yeah, for sure. So are you still expecting, is it still snowing, and are you expecting more accumulation?
It's just cloudy now. It's about 22. I think the wind chill is lower than that. I'm not sure what the wind chill is right now. But there were some hurricane force wind gusts with this thing. In Newport, I believe it said Newport, Rhode Island got 89 mile an hour winds.
Holy cow.
Out in Montauk, 84 miles an hour. Nantucket got 83 miles an hour. I mean, this was, it was, from what I understood yesterday, I mean, there's obviously different things you have to hit in order, meteorological things that, make up a blizzard, that you have to have certain key things that have to happen before you can actually call it a blizzard. From what I understand, we here in the city, we've missed it. We were just short of that because the place where they, in Central Park, where they measure the snow, that 19-inch number, that is actually apparently in a place that is a little more protected from the winds than other parts of the city in the snow, in the park. So if it hadn't been, we might have hit all of them. I'm not sure. But either way, we've got some historic. I mean, the Boston Globe didn't put out a paper today for the first time in 153 years because, they couldn't get the people in to go and, work the presses and actually, it's the first time that they have not printed a paper in more than a century and a half. So that's
what outlet was that?
That's not nothing. This is at Boston Globe. The management had to call off the printing of the paper because, it was so bad. And obviously, like I said, Massachusetts also has 250,000 power outages still. So, those numbers I read were recent numbers as of this morning. Wow.
Well, Tanya, glad you're safe and sound, and hope you don't have to dig out too much where you're at.
Thank you.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Holy cow, they got crushed down there. Some areas with 3 feet of snow, 89 mile an hour winds, and over 1.5 feet of snow in New York City. I knew they were getting pummeled, but I didn't know some places got 3 feet of snow. That's a lot of snow, obviously. We know that. And I can't believe we got nothing from it. I'm grateful we got nothing from it. All right, so it's a Tuesday morning. It is 6:38. I want to get into some of the comments. Coming up later this morning, we will be joined by City Controller Frank Miola, and we'll talk with Katie Iello coming up at about 8:30 this morning as well. She wants to talk about some things in the mayor's budget. We also want to ask Comptroller Miola about his recent audit of the city of Utica budget. This would have been, I guess, Mayor Galimi's first budget going back 2 years. So obviously the story I did mention as we wrapped up the show yesterday was this memo from the Corporation Council about Councilperson Iello going into the basement, and I don't know exactly what, if it was a review of records or what she was looking for down there. So we got some comments here at the end of the show. John in Deerfield says, Katie is notorious for leading somebody to a point and not saying what she implies. You just did the same thing between identifying her accessing the location in the dark and also noting people are accessing using somebody else's credentials. Look, I was just reading what the memo said. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I think it's bizarre. I look forward to hearing what she says later this morning about what she was doing or looking for down there. And as a council person, again, I believe I did say this yesterday, she does have a right to see, just like any other person in the city, but obviously as a council person, if there's something she's looking for, she should be able to just speak directly with a department head. It just sounds a little weird, and so much so that the Corporation Council put together that memo that they did. Lance says, must be Katie is the ringleader of some sort of scam. That's what you seem to be insinuating. Again, I'm not insinuating anything. I think it's a little odd, but I didn't request or write that report. I just read it to you. Let's see. Who hires the Corporation Council? The mayor, of course. He sure has something to hide. Sounds like Watergate. Again, this is Lance. Why would Davey immediately assume Katie was doing something wrong? Maybe her investigation will help taxpayers. And tell Davey not to be so quick to defend Galeem. What did you say at the end of the show yesterday?
I just said that Mike's doing a good job in the city. That's what I said. I believe that's what I said.
And Lance also said $2 million of budget transfers at the end of the year is basically a shell game. Interesting. All right, so fair enough. And we'll talk with the comptroller and we'll talk to Katie Iello coming up later this morning. I'm reviewing this memo here. Office recently found that Councilperson Iello was discovered in a secure area of the basement of City Hall. Upon investigation of the incident, it was discovered that on Friday, January 9th, Councilperson Iello entered City Hall through the front doors approximately 8:36 with a backpack and immediately took the elevator up to the second floor of the building. She then proceeded down the hallway and entered a stairwell on the opposite side of the building. Again, I'm not saying this. I'm reading this memo from the Corporation Council. At the time, there were no security cameras in the stairwells of City Hall. Councilperson Iello was then let into the basement from the stairwell by an employee who works in City Hall. A door separates the main basement from the stairwell. ID badge access is required to enter the basement, whether via the elevator or the stairwell. The City Hall employee then left the basement while Councilperson Iello remained in the back portion of the basement in the dark. The security camera in the basement failed to adequately capture exactly, I got to go back here, what Councilperson Iello, where she went at this point during the incident. Another City Hall employee then entered the basement and witnessed Councilperson Iello in the secure area housing the records of the Comptroller's office in the dark. As a reminder, the Comptroller's office possesses records with personal information such as Social Security numbers, bank account information, and healthcare information. The employee later reported this security breach. Again, none of these are my words. At approximately 9:08, Councilperson Iello, after failing to access the stairwell, which requires ID badge access, entered the elevator to return to the first floor. From the elevator, Councilperson Iello entered the Comptroller's office and went down the hallway. She then left the building at 9:13. Please note that all secure areas of the basement are under lock and key. It is unknown at this time exactly how Councilperson Iello accessed the secure area. However, the lock was immediately changed. All city employees and department heads have also been sent a memorandum reminding them of our policy regarding physical access control. While we do not have reason to believe Councilperson Iello accessed any personal information at this time, we do know that she posted pictures of the basement on social media. We also have conflicting reports on the purpose of her visit to the basement. She informed one employee she was looking for records from the 1980s, and another employee she was looking for records from 2016. Under these circumstances, the Common Council is the more appropriate entity to address whether Councilperson Iello accessed, viewed, took, copied, photographed, or otherwise transmitted any personal information during her time in the basement. Again, this is a memo from Corporation Council. None of these are my words. In the meantime, it is recommended that all council members be instructed that they are not authorized to enter the basement of City Hall and that they may have records or may request records through the appropriate department head or other proper channels available to any member of the public. As a separate but related matter, our office has also become aware that individuals may be using ID badges issued to other individuals. The practice also violates our policy regarding physical access control. Individuals with ID badges should be reminded that their access to secure areas will be revoked or restricted if it is discovered that they are permitting any unauthorized use of their ID badge. All right, so that was the memo from Corporation Counsel. We shared that on the show to wrap things up yesterday. Some of these messages that I had made an allegation. I don't think I made any allegations. I just read the memo, and I'm curious to know what document or what type of information that she might have been looking for. So she'll join us coming up at 8:30. She also wants to talk some budget issues, and I think some of that is what Lance is referring to, transferring funding. I know Katie's latest videos have kind of focused on overfunding certain columns in the budget or certain departments and then using that to transfer, and I think that's what Lance is referring to as well. It is 6:45. Here's a quick news update, and we'll get your latest forecast as well at 6:46. Flights to and from some parts of Mexico have been canceled or rescheduled after a wave of cartel violence following the killing of a notorious drug lord by the Mexican army with help from U.S. intel. Visitors in the resort city of Puerto Vallarta have been asked to stay indoors for now. Violence in other parts of the country has subsided and things are returning somewhat to normal. American Airlines, United, and Delta are all waiving fees for those going through Guadalajara and Puerto Vallarta over the next few days. President Trump will deliver his State of the Union address in prime time tonight. At least a dozen Democratic lawmakers, possibly more, are planning to boycott the president's address to a joint session of Congress. The Department of Homeland Security is still without funding today, with Congress at an impasse over ending the partial government shutdown. Democrats have demanded reforms to immigration and customs enforcement operations amid the Trump administration's crackdown across the country. Votes were canceled Monday evening as severe winter weather hit the Northeast. The Senate is expected to take up a procedural vote today on whether to take up a funding bill, but it's unlikely to get the 60 votes needed to pass. Meanwhile, we talked with Tanya J. Powers about this. Crews are working to restore hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses without power after a record-setting storm in the Northeast. Most of the outages are in Massachusetts at this hour. The storm prompted numerous states of emergency and resulted in blizzard conditions with massive amounts of snow. Totals up to 3 feet in some parts of that region. And Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao will face off in the ring for the first time since 2015 when they had their fight of the century. The two boxing legends are set to meet in a professional bout September 19th at the Sphere in Las Vegas, with Netflix streaming the event. So does this mean Floyd's not doing the other event?
He's doing the other event against Tyson, then officially
in April.
And then officially going to be unretiring and becoming a professional boxer again. And Pacquiao's doing an exhibition too.
This is bizarre. I know Floyd's not known to be a heavy hitter, but I do think Mike has seen his better days for sure, and I think he might get hurt. And I'd be interested to see this because Floyd Mayweather Jr. actually knocked out Manny Pacquiao at that 2015 fight of the century.
Yep.
So this one, it seems to me, would actually be a fight. I don't know about Floyd and Tyson, but I guess we will see, and you can stream it on Netflix. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 6:49. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Cold Tuesday morning, and that cold weather will stick around as we head on through the day today. Upper teens, 17 should do it. Mainly cloudy. Wind chills will be below zero early. Next change on deck tonight. Clipper coming through with some snow showers after midnight. Temperatures will fall to near 10 degrees. North Country a little bit colder. Tomorrow will send some milder air in, and that means snow showers, maybe mixing with a little bit of rain, upper 30s, but northern Oneida County and points north, there are some winter weather advisories for not only snow from the low coming through, but then lake effect back behind it. Could be 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. I think here locally could be an inch or two of slushy accumulation. More snow showers are possible even on into tomorrow night. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, just 11 degrees and some light snow at 6:49.
Warner Sales and Service, building relationships, building trust.
According to Punxsutawney Phil, winter is here to stay. Here in Central New York, we just never know what to expect. Bobcat equipment can keep you working through whatever Mother Nature sends our way. Bobcat machines, including skid steer loaders, track loaders, and excavators, are fast, maneuverable, and deliver plenty of traction for working in deep snow or mud. In all kinds of weather, Bobcat machines deliver low ground disturbance, excellent traction, impressive pushing power, and a smooth ride for all-day working comfort. So whether it's snow or mud that won't quit, you won't have to quit either thanks to Bobcat. Push it to the limit with Bobcat machines and attachments from Warner Sales and Service. If you haven't been to see them, take a ride today. They're easy to find and anxious to meet you just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona on the Greenway New London Road.
Warner's, where quality still counts at Warner's.
Friday means another 50-50 Friday. This week, score a $50 e-voucher to Pizza Boys in New York Mills for just $25 exclusively through this station's website. For the best New York-style pizza in the Utica area, head to Pizza Boys, a full-service pizzeria known for hot, cheesy, hand-tossed pies made fresh and served right. Go with a specialty pie, stick with a classic favorite, or build your own masterpiece just the way you like it. And it's not just pizza. Pizza Boys also serves up paninis, fresh salads, calzones, and overstuffed subs. Craving wings? Choose from more than 11 flavors and find your new favorite. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or game day, Pizza Boys delivers big flavor every time. To save on something delicious, head to this station's website this Friday morning, click on 50/50 Friday link, and grab your $50 Pizza Boys e-voucher for just $25 while they last.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
The President's Day sale is on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on New York State's largest selection from New York State's largest specialty bedding retailer. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
If you're looking for flooring, boy, do I have the perfect place for you. This is Bill Keeler, and I highly recommend Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading flooring store. They have the absolute largest inventory in Central New York, and it's a brand new store at the Route 49 Plaza in Marcy. And if you're looking for Pergo Extreme, they have a price guarantee anywhere in the area within a 60-mile radius of their store. It's a pretty awesome deal, and you know you're going to get the best deal at Insera's. Log on to their website at InserasFlooringOutlet.com and sign up to save $50 off your next purchase of $500 or more. You can shop online or in the store. You will not find a better selection than Insera's Flooring Outlet. See why more people buy from the big store. Its selection, its price, and it's a 6-month interest-free financing. Log on to the website, InserasFlooringOutlet.com, and see for yourself or visit their store. Insera's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Ready to buy an RV? Save big in March at the largest indoor RV show, the Spring New York State RV Show, March 5th through 8th at the Fairgrounds. 9 dealers, over 400 RVs. It's the place to buy. Get discounted tickets now at nysrvshow.com.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, it is 6:55. Manaski and Smitty in here this morning. Smitty, some sad news. Actor Robert Carradine has passed away. He took his own life yesterday. He was 71 and had been struggling with bipolar disorder for nearly 2 decades. Robert, best known for playing Louis Skolnick in the 4 Revenge of the Nerds movies. He was also Hilary Duff's dad on Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now I know who he is.
Carradine's family issued a statement saying it is with profound sadness that we must share that our beloved father, grandfather, uncle, and brother Robert Carradine has passed away. We are bereft at the loss of this beautiful soul and want to acknowledge Bobby's valiant struggle against his nearly 2-decade battle with bipolar disorder. We hope his journey can shine a light and encourage addressing the stigma that attaches to mental illness. At this time, we ask for the privacy to grieve this unfathomable loss with gratitude for your understanding and compassion. Keith Carradine, Robert's brother or half-brother, his brother was also President Dalton on Madam Secretary and FBI agent Frank Lundy on the show Dexter. So, obviously a horrible tragedy, and very sad that he took his own life, 71 years old. I guess in reading this, I was a little puzzled. Did he only battle bipolar disorder? They said for the last 2 decades, his nearly 2-decade battle with bipolar disorder. So I didn't know this. Is it something that came on later in life? In other words, in his first 50 years, he didn't have this this mental health struggle. I don't know. That just stood out to me and struck me as a little different, but obviously sad. Robert Carradine passing away. And on a totally different tone here, this is the latest trend. Do you know what the latest trend is?
It was that 6767. What is it now?
Well, this is a fashion trend from Vogue magazine. It's showing, they're calling it the year of the crack.
Oh, jeez.
And they mean,
oh boy,
like plumber's crack. If you've managed to keep your New Year's resolutions to lose weight this long, it's possible that your pants are sagging off your hips and you might need a belt, or maybe not. According to Vogue, 2026 is the year of the crack, and they're not talking about the drug. If you haven't been paying attention to fashion runways, high-end designers are hyping up a look featuring a little plumber's crack, and in some cases a lot. Some celebrities and influencers have also been experimenting with the trend too, including Kendall Jenner, Zoe Kravitz, and Hailey Bieber. This isn't a completely new trend. Last spring, the hot trend at Milan Fashion Week was low-cut jeans with a hint of plumber's crack showing for both men and women. And apparently Vogue thinks it's about to go mainstream. Okay. That's a
Don't show no crack today.
Is that what today is?
No.
Yesterday was National Tootsie Roll today. Tootsie Roll Day. Do you think today is National Show Your Crack Day? And Texas Governor Greg Abbott is sending state troopers to the southern border in his state to enhance security after the outbreak of cartel-related violence in Mexico. This story is very interesting as well. The potential for violence here and what happens with these drug cartels, and how serious is the Mexican government about, I don't know, putting an end to them or arresting them, shutting them down. The Mexican army killed a cartel leader known as El Mencho over the weekend while trying to capture him. As a result, violence erupted in several Mexican states. The U.S. Embassy is urging American citizens in Mexico, some parts of it anyway, to shelter in place. All right, it is Tuesday morning. Coming up next hour, we'll be joined by City Comptroller Frank Miola. We'll talk about this whole Katie Iello situation. Up next at 7:15, Dr. Kent Hall joins us. We'll have a news update as well. And then Councilperson Katie Iello at about 8:30 this morning here on WIBX.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica. From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Russia has been waging war in Ukraine for 4 years now. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It started on this day in 2022.
European dignitaries are in Kyiv this morning for events to mark 4 years since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Ceremonies like this one commemorate Ukraine's casualties, thought to be at least 500,000 dead and injured. Cities have been destroyed by Russian forces. Peace talks seemingly stalled over the question of territory. But President Volodymyr Zelensky today promised his nation's resistance will not be in vain.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. President Trump's been trying to stop that war, and he may bring it up tonight in his State of the Union address to Congress and the nation.
Expect him to address topics that will define elections across the country. So we're talking about the economy, trade and tariffs, and immigration. This comes amid the backdrop, of course, of the Supreme Court's ruling against his sweeping tariffs last week and the looming threat of potential military action against Iran. The president has been facing more pressure to focus on domestic issues, but he feels confident about his record.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. Some Democrats do not plan to attend, boycotting the president's speech. Among the invited guests, gold medalists, the men's Olympic hockey team.
Representing the U.S., obviously it's an honor, so we're ecstatic and we're excited to be back home celebrating.
That's Austin Matthews. The team got a big welcome home returning in Miami. It's not clear how many players could attend tonight. The NHL season restarts tomorrow. The women's gold medal winning hockey team was also invited to the speech tonight but declined. You can watch the State of the Union on Fox News Channel and hear it at foxnewsradio.com. Our coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. There's a lot of snow still to be shoveled across the Northeast.
Boston experienced a blizzard for the first time in years. Monster snow totals across the region and hurricane-force wind gusts rocked the state.
Fox Weather's Melanie Black in Boston. Rhode Island got record snow totals more than 3 feet. There are still more than 350,000 power outages in the Northeast and more than 2,000 flights canceled. America's listening to Fox News.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Congress returns this week from a break with Homeland Security funding still held up by Democrats who demand immigration enforcement reform. And they also have blocked what's called the SAVE Act, fearing it would prevent some voters from voting, to President Trump's dismay.
They won't approve voter ID. They won't approve proof of citizenship. They won't approve no mail-in ballots, even though they know it's crooked as hell.
The president said that while also paying tribute to what are called angel families.
A day before the State of the Union address, President Trump honored the loved ones of Americans killed by undocumented immigrants like Laken Riley.
Her death was completely preventable. This shouldn't have happened.
The president and administration officials have pointed to angel families as the reason for an aggressive immigration crackdown.
Not only should her killer not have been released into our country in the first place, but he was released a second time after being arrested in New York City.
President Trump signed a proclamation designating February 22nd as National Angel Family Day, the anniversary of Riley's murder. at the White House. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the day after a big sell-off. A rematch is set in boxing. Two legends getting ready to return to the ring.
Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao will meet September 19th at the Sphere in Las Vegas, a fight that will be streamed on Netflix. The news comes just a few days after Mayweather, who turns 49 years old on Tuesday, announced plans to end his 9-year retirement from competitive boxing. Mayweather beat Pacquiao by unanimous decision in May 2015, a fight that shattered several boxing records, including pay-per-view viewership in the United States. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs won their 9th straight game, beating the top team in the East with the league's best record, the Detroit Pistons, 114-103. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
We have some light snow and 9 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:05. This news update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. A major investment coming to Columbia Square as plans move forward with a new affordable housing project there. Columbia Square Apartments will be located along the north side of Whitesboro Street between DeWitt and Saratoga Streets, and has a projected cost of $18 million. Mayor Michael Galimi saying the allocation of state assistance to that project will significantly revitalize a once-forgotten neighborhood in West Utica and provide nearly 70 units of modern housing for city residents. The victims of a double homicide in Fort Plain have been identified by police. The bodies of 78-year-old Robert Robbins and 76-year-old Mary Robbins were found inside their home on Friday. It's alleged that it was their son, 45-year-old Robert Robbins Jr., who beat his parents to death with a hammer, then called 911. Robbins Jr. remains behind bars without bail. The investigation into that tragedy is continuing. An immigration law expert will be the guest of Congressman Paul Tonko during tonight's State of the Union address. Lauren DeRoges is an assistant professor and director of Albany Law School's Immigration Law Clinic. Before taking that role, she spent several years with the New York City Anti-Violence Project, which helped queer and trans survivors of violence in immigration matters. The State of the Union begins this evening at 9 p.m. A Grammy Award-winning artist will be rolling his latest tour into Syracuse this summer. Jelly Roll is taking the stage at the Empower Federal Credit Union Amphitheater at Lakeview on June 23rd. The singer-songwriter, best known for hits like Amen, Need a Favor, and Son of a Sinner. Seats go on sale this Friday and can be purchased through Ticketmaster. You're a Jelly Roll guy, aren't you?
You're a Jelly Roll guy, aren't you? A donut Jelly Roll. I like the music by Jelly Roll, too.
You going to that show?
Tell you something. He's one hot commodity for tickets. It's probably going to be sold out by the time I want to go get the tickets. But you never know. You buy a lawn seat there. It's not bad to go see a concert there at the Lakeview. I would like to go see him.
It is 7:08.
I'll be eating jelly rolls while I'm jelly buns while I'm seeing him.
He's lost a ton of weight, right?
Sure has. Has he seen him?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's your forecast at 7:08.
Cold Tuesday morning, and that cold weather will stick around as we head on through the day today. Upper teens, 17 should do it. Mainly cloudy. Wind chills will be below zero early. Next change on deck tonight. Clipper coming through with some snow showers after midnight. Temperatures will fall to near 10 degrees. North Country a little bit colder. Then tomorrow we'll send some milder air in, and that means snow showers, maybe mixing with a little bit of rain. Upper 30s, but northern Oneida County and points north, there are some winter weather advisories for not only snow from the low coming through, but then lake effect back behind it. Could be 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. I think here locally could be an inch or two of slushy accumulation. More snow showers are possible even on into tomorrow night. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
9 degrees and some snow at 7:09. All right, in sports here, the Spurs extended their lengthy winning streak, taking down the Pistons 114-103 last night. Let's see, Victor Wembanyama sunk 21 and grabbed 17 rebounds to go with 6 blocks as the Spurs have now won 9 straight. Cade Cunningham struggled to 16 points on 5 of 20 shooting for Detroit, which had its 5-game winning streak snapped. The Knicks are in Cleveland to take on Donovan Mitchell and the Cavaliers tonight. The Knicks coming in having won back-to-back games. The Nets also in action tonight as they take square off against Chris Middleton and the Mavericks at home. Brooklyn on a 4-game losing streak. Syracuse basketball is off until Saturday when they play Wake Forest in Winston-Salem. Spring training action yesterday. The Yankees sunk the Pirates 6-2. They square off against the Blue Jays today. The Mets beat the Blue Jays yesterday 4-3, and they will play the Astros coming up later today. Almost through February, Smitty.
Yeah, only a couple more days left, and then you turn the calendar. March 1st is on Sunday.
March 1st is on Sunday,
then
and
you
we change
start
the clocks the following weekend.
On Saturday. Then you begin to count down to my birthday.
Which is the 17th?
Yes.
Oh, I remembered it.
Yes.
Is it right on St. Patrick's Day or right around it?
Right on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh.
I don't drink green beer, and I don't eat corned beef and cabbage. So don't look at me for any corned beef or cabbage if I like it or not.
Oh, okay. Well,
I did have green beer one St. Patrick's Day birthday, but haven't had any since.
No. So how about this story? Olympic skiing legend Lindsey Vonn. Did you hear this?
Yeah, you hear about that? Wow.
She said, of course, she tore ligaments and then she broke her leg. But she said the surgery that she just had saved her leg from being amputated.
Something with the blood or something didn't flow through her where the leg was or something.
On Monday, a still recovering Vaughn shared an Instagram post thanking her orthopedic surgeon for salvaging her leg. After Vaughn's crash in the women's downhill at the Milan Cortina Winter Games, she developed compartment syndrome in her left leg. It's a condition that can lead to permanent damage due to excessive pressure within the muscle. A wild story. Yeah, you're pointing to the phone. Well, have him hold. We'll take a quick break. We'll ask Dr. Hall about this and other things when we come back. It is First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Warner Sales and Service, building relationships, building trust.
According to Punxsutawney Phil, winter is here to stay. Here in Central New York, we just never know what to expect. Bobcat equipment can keep you working through whatever Mother Nature sends our way. Bobcat machines, including skid steer loaders, track loaders, and excavators, are fast, maneuverable, and deliver plenty of traction for working in deep snow or mud. In all kinds of weather, Bobcat machines deliver low ground disturbance, excellent traction, impressive pushing power, and a smooth ride for all-day working comfort. So whether it's snow or mud that won't quit, you won't have to quit either thanks to Bobcat. Push it to the limit with Bobcat machines and attachments from Warner Sales and Service. If you haven't been to see them, take a ride today. They're easy to find and anxious to meet you just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona on the Greenway New London Road.
Warner's, where quality still counts at Warner's.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service. Family owned and operated since 1980, Tallman's is proud to provide trusted, professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to 4-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com. pottingshed.com.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, host of Fox Across America. We're talking politics, pop culture, and comedy, minus all the rage and finger pointing. It's real talk for real people who just want to laugh, think, maybe learn something along the way. So join the fun weekdays at noon right here on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, Central New York's home for talk that's smart, honest, and just the right amount of crazy. Fox Across America with your main man, Jimmy Fallon.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, still some light snow outside, 7:15. Good morning. Lance and Lee commenting here. He sent me a screenshot here from, I don't know what website this is, but this is several City of Utica employees. It appears under the title laborer, but he says to me, I'll guarantee New York Mills laborers don't make that much, probably half at the most, I have to guess. And this is a screenshot here of several city employees who make $85,000 or more, anywhere from 85 to 125, essentially. If you want, Lance, that's something I can ask the comptroller when he comes in later this morning. We'll talk with Comptroller Frank Miola coming up at 7:45, right after the free money question of the day. We go to the phone lines now. Dr. Kent Hall joins us. Good morning, Doc. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Did you hear, I mentioned this coming out of sports here, but the whole Lindsey Vonn story, do you know what, I'm sure you do. Can you explain what compartment syndrome is? Apparently, after she tore the ligaments and then still wanted to ski again, she broke her leg, and she's saying that she almost had to have the leg amputated, I guess in part because of this compartment syndrome.
Yeah, so the different your different extremities, your arms and your legs have what are called compartments in them. They're basically divided into areas: the front part, the back part, and there's an internal part for the lower leg, for the calf. And they're divided by this really tough connective tissue. It's called fascia. And the muscles and nerves and blood vessels run through these different compartments. When you get something that has severe trauma, whether it's what Lindsey Vonn suffered, or a car accident, or sometimes it's a chronic thing. Like oftentimes, or sometimes runners will get this, especially long distance runners. What happens is that there's swelling that occurs within the muscles within the compartment, but because this tough connective tissue, this fascia, doesn't allow for expansion, basically the pressure builds up and builds up. And what happens is that the pressure gets to a point where blood flow cannot get into the compartment, and the entities within the compartment, the muscles and the nerves, start to die because they don't get the nutrition that they need. And absent some, fairly significant interventions where you have to cut the fascia in order to allow things to expand and to swell, then it can cause death of those tissues. And if it doesn't happen, if you don't correct that quickly, then amputation can be the only thing that can actually save the rest of the leg.
So fortunately, she said this was caught and they were able to save the leg. But what a wild story. Considering all that she's been through, had this gone a different way, it would have been, I guess, one of those moments where you look back and know what she was, trying to do at her age in her lower 40s, and then the injury and continuing. And it would have been horrible if she ultimately did lose the leg. She says that she wants to ski again, right, Smitty? I don't think she means competitively, certainly not in the Olympics, but she does not want to give up skiing.
Well, she said she wants to competitive ski, but her dad said over here he's never going to let her do it again. But what can you do? You're an athlete, and if she wants to come back, let her try again.
Yeah. Doc, I don't know. There aren't too many people I know that haven't been sick in some fashion over the past 3 weeks to a month. Can you talk about, I see RSV is on the rise. COVID numbers seem to be down, and the flu has been taking people out left and right here.
Yeah. So in general, this is kind of a late winter surge, which does happen. Especially with this, weather getting warmer and then cooler and then warmer and then cooler, you get people out and moving around, and then you get them back inside because it gets cold. It's a recipe for transmission of these respiratory viruses. Overall, flu cases are coming down, which is good, especially from the high that they were in, late December and early January. COVID has actually been under pretty good control. Certainly not what we saw 5 years ago, but even compared to last year, we're doing better. RSV is ticking up a little bit, but that's relatively speaking, that's a lower number, certainly than what we've seen with the flu. But the reality is that, this is the time of year for respiratory viruses. And so a lot of people are getting, one of the 22 or 24 viruses that causes the common cold and things. So, it's still a time of year when you have to be aware of what's going on. And if you're not feeling well, then staying home and taking care of yourself is really the best thing to do.
Doctor, dip back to the Lindsey Vonn situation for a moment here because we got a message. Tim says, I'm shocked they flew her back to the United States as fast as they did. I would have been concerned about blood clots on the plane. Can you talk about people having that issue of clotting? Is it because of the elevation?
No, it's really because of the immobilization. So she would have had problems with blood clots, from the accident itself. The accident and the injuries that she sustained actually turn on your clotting mechanisms within the body, because that's how it actually stops the bleeding that's occurring inside of her leg. They would have been giving her blood thinners, whether it was heparin or something else, in order to keep that under control. It's a little bit of a balancing act because you want to give her enough so that she doesn't get clots on the one hand, but on the other hand, you don't want to give her so much that she starts to bleed, from the injuries. So she was susceptible to blood clots simply because of the accident, and then the fact that she had the external fixator on to keep everything, keep all of the bone fragments stable while the soft tissues started to heal a little bit and the swelling went down, so that they could ultimately get in and do the surgeries that were needed for definitive care.
And then, Doc, I also wanted to ask you this morning about the latest on the measles outbreak. It's something we've talked to you about several times over the past year or so. I see the latest here this morning, Utah Valley University, which is actually the campus where Charlie Kirk was shot. Not that they're related at all, but if that university rings a bell to some of our listeners, that's why. I see here that they have reported an outbreak as recently as, I think, yesterday. I'm trying to get this number here. Campus health alert after a measles outbreak at Utah Valley University. What is the best thing for people to do, those who are vaccinated or unvaccinated, to protect themselves, or are we all already protected if you've gotten the vaccination?
So if you've gotten the vaccination, assuming that your immune system, would respond to it the way that immune systems do, and that happens in 95, 97+% of the cases, then you as an individual would be protected. There are people who have not gotten vaccinated because they either can't get vaccines, because they have some kind of a reaction to the vaccine itself. That's a very small percentage of the population. Or the very young. Remember that the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine are not given to kids before the age of between 12 and 15 months. And so they are susceptible. They do get some immunity from the mother. If the mother has been vaccinated, then they would get protection from the mother, but that wanes over time. But really, the majority of people who are getting infected are people who have foregone getting the vaccine for personal reasons, whatever they may be. And that's what we're seeing. Certainly, South Carolina is probably the biggest nexus right now. They've had over 1,000 cases of measles in that state, but we're seeing these pop-ups elsewhere. The majority of that is because of people that have decided that they didn't want to get the vaccine, which is a very safe, very effective vaccine. I would emphasize that. So yeah, the best thing that people can do if for some reason you are, you have not gotten the vaccine or you cannot get it, is to be aware of people who are sick and to stay away from them as much as possible. Measles is one of the most contagious diseases that we know of. So if you come in contact with somebody who has had it, or if you're in the area of somebody who has had active measles, even several hours later, then it can linger and you can end up getting it from the area. The best thing is just to be very, very careful. Well, the best thing is to get the vaccine, but absent that, being as careful as possible.
Dr. Ken Hall, appreciate the information as always, and stay warm and stay safe out there.
Yeah, please, everybody, please stay safe. Thanks.
We'll take a quick time out and come back with more. It is First News, Keeler in the Morning on WIBX.
We're your neighbors, friends, and your family. We care about our community, your business, and most important, you.
We support charities like the United Way, McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center, rather members of IBEW Local 43 and NECA Contractors. You don't just see our work, you live it. From the JMA Wireless Dome, hospitals, schools, and city buildings, the IBEW is part of the community.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service, family owned and operated since 1980. Tallman's is proud to provide trusted professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to 4-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at Tallman's Tire JonesTire.com.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
We're your neighbors, friends, and your family. We care about our community, your business, and most important, you.
We support charities like the United Way, McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center. We're the members of IBW Local 43 and NECA Contractors. You don't just see our work, you live it. From the JMA Wireless Dome, hospitals, schools, and city buildings, the IBEW is part of the community.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation, one-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
80 years ago in Little Falls, a dream was built, one board at a time. Through hard work, honesty, and a commitment to doing things the right way, that dream became 3 generations strong. A lot has changed over the past 8 decades, but our promise remains the same. Quality materials and personal service you can count on. Thank you to our customers for 80 incredible years. Little Falls Lumber, built on trust since day one, and we look forward to serving you in the future.
We have cloudy skies, just 11 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:31. The partial government shutdown continues for an 11th day with Congress at an impasse over funding the Department of Homeland Security. Democrats have demanded reforms to immigration and customs enforcement operations amid the Trump administration's crackdown across the country. Democrats and Republicans are blaming each other for the current shutdown, which is affecting agencies like the Transportation Security Administration and the Coast Guard. President Trump will give his State of the Union address tonight. It'll be the first time he'll present the annual speech during his second term, and the second time he'll address all of Congress since being reelected. Power outages persist for hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses after a massive snowstorm here in the Northeast, although it did miss much of our region. Most of the outages are in Massachusetts this morning. Federal Express is taking the Trump administration to court over tariffs and refunds. The shipping giant filed a lawsuit Monday, days after the Supreme Court struck down most of the president's sweeping tariffs. FedEx is asking for a full refund of all the tariffs that it paid the government. Nick Reiner pleading not guilty to killing his parents. The son of Hollywood director Rob Reiner appeared in court yesterday for arraignment. He's been in custody since the day after the bodies of his father and mother, Michelle Reiner, were discovered in their Los Angeles home. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot stands at $438 million. With a cash option of just over $203 million, odds of winning the grand prize are roughly 1 in 290 million. And Olympic skiing legend Lindsey Vonn says surgery saved her leg from being amputated. A still recovering Vonn shared an Instagram post thanking her orthopedic surgeon for salvaging the leg after Vonn's crash in the women's downhill at the Milan Cortina Winter Games. She developed compartment syndrome in her left leg. It's a condition that can lead to permanent damage due to excessive pressure within the muscle. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time is 7:33. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Cold Tuesday morning, and that cold weather will stick around as we head on through the day today. Upper teens. 17 should do it. Mainly cloudy. Wind chills will be below zero early. Next change on deck tonight. Clipper coming through with some snow showers after midnight. Temperatures will fall to near 10 degrees. North Country a little bit colder. Then tomorrow we'll send some milder air in, and that means snow showers, maybe mixing with a little bit of rain. Upper 30s, but northern Oneida County and points north, there are some winter weather advisories for not only snow from the low coming through, but then lake effect back behind it. Could be 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. I think here locally could be an inch or two of slushy accumulation. More snow showers are possible even on into tomorrow night. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies, maybe some light snow, and 11 degrees at 7:34. Smitty, how much money is on the line today?
$185, Jeff.
$185. Okay, that's the Hobeika Law Firm free money question of the day from Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. We'll do that coming up in just a few minutes. And City Comptroller Frank Miola set to join us here on First News with Keeler in the morning. Back after this on WIBX.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley Mattress Express's President's Day sale is on from upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. No one else in New York State has all the brands under one roof that we do. And right now, save up to $1,350 on names like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh & Lavish, Therapeutic, Simmons Beauty Rest, Black Serta, iComfort, Avocado, and more. A full line of spa-grade massage chairs take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans. In Rome, on Black River Boulevard in the Black River Plaza. In Oneida, in the Glenwood Plaza by the movie theaters. In New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. Go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. Don't overpay for your next mattress. Come to upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, Mattress Express.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
There's no championship league for small business owners, but if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation. One-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at Lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
It is 7:37. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. We'll do the free money question of the day coming up in just a few minutes. This is a wild story. Try to pull the full thing up. Dash cam video. Here it is. All right, this is from azfamily.com. But this was a link in the show prep here. A 2-year-old girl who was allegedly abducted from her home in Avondale is safe thanks to the help of a moving crew and a gas station security guard. A security guard working at a Phoenix area Quick Trip recognized Kalani Rogers and the suspect, 23-year-old Marina Noriega, on Sunday morning after getting an Amber Alert the day before. Immediately, the guard jumped into action and enlisted the help of a Camelback moving team that was at the gas station after noticing the toddler and the suspect. Together, the moving crews spotted the suspect's vehicle and worked to box her in while the security guard called 911. Let's see here. Quote, the president of Camelback Moving, Chad Olson, said, we're a moving company, so we're not professional heroes by any means, but to listen to the dash cam and watch the dash cam footage of the crew kind of identifying the situation and who this was and putting the plan together that we're going to block this truck with our truck and not allow them to leave, I couldn't be more proud. Again, that's the president of the moving company that helped rescue this girl. After boxing in the pickup truck Noriega was using, Phoenix police arrived within minutes. She was taken into custody. Police said Rogers was safe and had not been injured. Olson said, we're incredibly proud of our community heroes. They went on to name all of the drivers or the moving company employees that were there. Noriega, this Marina Noriega, is facing felony custody interference charges. Her bond was set at $250,000. Let's see here. And Avondale police initially reported the girl was 3 years old. It turns out she was 2 years old. But wow, that's a wild story. Happened at a gas station not too far from Phoenix, Arizona. All right, so for $185 today, it's our free money question of the day. Smitty, what number caller are we doing?
Let's do caller 5.
All right, 315-736-0186. What's the matter? What was that look for?
It's just frustrating.
315-736-0186. We'll take caller 5, your chance to win $185 from the Hobica Law Firm. I've got a good question today. It's totally doable, and I hate to say this, but I think I've asked it before, not necessarily recently, but I do think this is a question that I have asked before. All right, so we'll wait for some calls to come in on that. Again, coming up in just a few minutes, we will be joined by Comptroller Frank Miola to talk about some city issues, a recent audit of a recent budget, and we'll talk about the situation with Katie Iello and what was going on with the basement. Also, Katie is scheduled to join us this morning as well at about 8:35. All right, what is this here? This is from Lee, for Lance from Lee. Okay, so he sent me a screenshot here of 4 employees in the city of Utica considered to be laborers who make over $100,000 and several more who make more than $90,000. He had asked about New York Mills, and he just sent me a screenshot of that as well. What's this? Oh, seethrough.ny.net. Good morning, Frank. How are you? And this is a New York Mills, and yeah, they don't make nearly as much. 74,000 is the top guy. Looks like 58 and 53 from there. All right, so keep sending me the info, Lance. I appreciate it. Who do we have on the line? Wayne. Wayne, this is your chance to win some money, Wayne. $185.
Awesome.
Okay, here we go. Wayne, it was on this date in 1868, this man became the first U.S. president to be impeached by the House of Representatives. Who was it?
1868. I don't even know if I know any presidents. I don't know. I have no idea.
Andrew Johnson was the answer. It was on this date in 1868. Andrew Johnson became the first U.S. president to be impeached by the House of Representatives.
Was he a Democrat or Republican?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I'd like to know if the Democrats are still trying to just create drama back then.
The House voted 126 to 47 to impeach Johnson, although 3 months later he was acquitted by the Senate by a single vote. So the issue was the violation of the Tenure of Office Act, where he was accused to have improperly fired Secretary of War, was called Secretary of War back then, Edwin Stanton. So, Wayne, hang on the line, and Smitty's going to hook you up, all right?
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
You too, Wayne. What's going on, Frank? How are you? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that at all. That's good. I like that. It was very interesting. He was terminated because he fired somebody.
Well, he was impeached, but then they
because he fired him. But they had to
acquitted
take it back.
him.
They acquitted him.
He got to stay. So you want to begin with the audit, or
I'll begin with anything you want me to begin with.
Let's do the audit. You recently did an audit. I want to talk about the Katie thing because I want to know. Well, actually, let's begin there because I want to know more about what's in the basement and what even kind of records and documents are even down there.
Okay.
Have you been back long enough to know what's down there? I mean, you've been on the council
I didn't even know
before.
there was a basement with all that storage until they showed me all that stuff. So it was showed to me by my deputy controller. She says, you never been down there? I says, no, I've been down there in City Hall for 20 years and never went in the basement to find it. So there's different like little sections with doors on it that hold storage for different departments.
And there's a lot of financial records, personal information.
Well, the city has to keep financial records for payroll for over 30 years. Yes, absolutely. In the controller's section, absolutely.
Okay.
And we have to continue to retain vendor pays, which money we paid out, POs and all that for a while too, also.
So it's a secure area. Not everyone.
Well,
not
I didn't
everyone
know if
can
it
go
was so secure before, but I think the mayor put locks on the doors. So
This was a recent thing.
Yeah, after Katie was down there, he put locks on the doors. Yeah.
Well, in this in the memo from the Corporation Council, though, it talks about using an ID badge, an access badge, to get down there.
Correct.
And playing that it was already a secure area. It did mention in there that they changed some of the locks.
Right.
But it was a secure area before that, no?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I didn't go down there. It's the first time, and I didn't know what it was prior. But when I did witness it, there is locks on the doors now, and I do believe that if any council person wants any access to it, he or she has to be accompanied by a department head or somebody from the department to let them in and go through any files that they may need.
So you're also the head of the city committee, the Democratic committee.
Yeah.
If there was a particular document or files or information, if theoretically she would just come to you and ask, right?
Absolutely. Everything's an open door. Everything's transparent. If you wanted to find out legislation back in 1964, that's the year I was born. That's when everything started changing. It really, I get it for you. I will work on it and find it for you. If you wanted to find what the budget was back then, you know what I mean? I do my due diligence and look for it for you. Absolutely. Yeah. Any information you need, doors wide open.
Yeah. So what do you make of this whole situation?
Basically, I don't make too much headway with it. According to Katie, which she could be on, she just told me she was looking for legislation. So I said, okay,
You were how long were you on the council?
Oof, I don't know, 20 years maybe.
So you said you've never kind of gone on an excursion in the basement looking for documents, or whether it's legislation or a billing issue or whatever the case might be.
Well, they moved from the vault. See, we have so much documentation. The clerk's office got a vault, but anything prior to the vault, you would have to go downstairs to see.
I also heard they had the city at some point, I don't know when, had the declutter coach. I can't remember her first name. Deb, yeah.
Deb?
That she came in and did a bunch of organizing of whether it was records, documents, and boxed up and organized a lot of the stuff that's in the basement now.
Probably. I don't know if the basement was prior to that, but
Yeah.
the basement looked pretty decently organized when I went down there.
Okay. So there was no FOIL request or any request from Katie on a document she wasn't getting that prompted her to go down there.
Absolutely.
Not to your knowledge. All right, we'll talk to her coming up
Yeah,
at about
absolutely.
8:30 this morning. You recently did an audit, right? Of I guess it was Galimi. Go ahead.
No, I just want to. We didn't do the audit. Bonadero Group does the audit for us. It's an outside
Gotcha.
audit firm, third party.
What did it find?
Well, it found. We'll go to the bottom line of it, so you're not belaboring the points or anything like that. The bottom line showed $880,000 draw on the fund balance, which is the People's Bank. So, in other words, Mayor Galimi needed to balance the budget, $2.4 million out of the People's Bank to fund all the expenses, to offset the expenses.
Why were the expenses so high? This was a tax increase. Was that the first year? Was the 14?
Yes, the 13. There was a 13 plus. Actually, I think Mayor Galimi put 16, but the council knocked it down to 13.
Yeah, 13%.
Yeah.
And there was still a $2.4 million draw.
on the People's Bank. Well, it's called the fund reserve, but people get so confused. What is fund reserve? So it's actually savings that you save throughout the years that the people save, tax dollars that that prior administration save for you.
Which is certainly a good thing to have on hand because when this stuff happens. But what were the costs driving the $2.4 million?
I don't know specifically. It was probably spread out throughout the budget. So specifically, I really can't give you those numbers right now.
Okay. Let's see. Benedero Group, $880,000 draw. What was the $880 versus the $2.4 million?
The $2.4 million was supposed to be drawn to pay the bills within that budget year, but the mayor did very good for management and only had to draw $888,000 out of it. So,
Gotcha.
See, I mean, there's different ways of looking at it. There's the financial way, then there's the taxpayer's way, then there's a layman's way. If you want to look at it a taxpayer's way, let's say that leaves 1.6 in the bank yet. Okay, 1.6 gives you like a 4.5% tax rate.
Okay.
So if he left the 1.6 in there, he didn't need it to spend. So on the opposite side, he didn't need it to add the tax increase to 13. You could have took 4.5 off of that and maybe around a 9% tax increase. So, you got to look at it all different ways. It's up to you which way you want to look at it. So.
How's the first 2 months been in the comptroller's office?
A very, very learning experience. I have fun. I'm learning everybody's job. I'm sitting down with everybody and trying to help them improve and getting a better work ethic there, and improving their, wanting to come to work. Hey, listen, I want to go to work. That attitude to say, oh, I got to go to work. No, I want you to come to work, and I want you to do your best you could, and I want you to feel like you're accomplishing something when you're done with your job, and that's a great feeling when you leave the office.
What have you learned about city finances?
I learned a lot of stuff. I'm really delving into Munis. I learned on Kronos, which was an older system. But Munis is like the newer system that they have.
What is this? I don't even know what this is.
It's the accounting system. The city uses.
The accounting system.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm learning piece by piece, and I'm spending hours and hours and hours on it to learn how it's functioning. I'm from old school, like posting. Give me some papers, and I'll show you ledgers. I'll show you bank statements. So I just want to make sure what data we're putting into Munis on paper is the right data. It's coming out the right way. So, for example, you put payroll into Munis, you type it in, but you always check it on a hardcover piece of paper, your deductions, to make sure that Munis calculation is correct. Not all the time computers are right, so you really have to check them once in a while.
What are there any expenses you've come across that are eye-opening as far as a taxpayer would go? Do you realize the city spends this much money on whether it's road salt or whatever the case might be?
Of course, road the salt. The problem this year, we spent an extra $90,000 in salt this year. It happens. It happens. We had a really hard winter, and we needed it. Prior winters, we didn't need that kind of salt, so we needed it, so we had to buy it to keep the roads safe.
Yeah, it was like a harsh fall. I mean, it started right after Thanksgiving. We had those 2 storms in December. We had sub-zero in December.
Yeah, I mean, this year's like an old school winter with the snowbanks. I don't know about you guys, but when I was younger, the snowbanks down the Parkway used to be 8 foot and up.
Yeah. Smitty just sent me a note here. Let's see. I think Lance and Lee has a question for you. Smitty, if you have it, you can ask it. This is still loading.
Okay, here's a question for Mr. Miola. Did he have anything to do with the newly proposed budget? I noticed Gleamy didn't mention his name. Just the budget director should have included more, since Sir Monaro was involved in the last couple of budgets.
No. Basically, I wasn't included in the preparation of it, which by law we should be, because the law states very clearly, and there was a referendum back a few years ago, that see the department heads, right? Mm-hmm. They're supposed to submit their revenues, their expenses, and whatever salary they need to run a department. Now that paperwork is supposed to disseminate to all the council members. Now you got a budget that you're only comparing past years, but you're not comparing what the department heads requested. So how can the council actually see what the department needs to do their job versus what the mayor is allotting for them?
Right.
So it just gives them, another system of checks and balances that the council could have at their level, so they can say, hey, listen, I don't even know what each department head goes to them, But having to look at that, and back in January, we were supposed to submit, I think January 10th, January something, according to the law. All the department heads are supposed to submit their paperwork to both the mayor and the common council. So now the council's got some kind of preliminaries of what they believe that's going to run, is needed to run that department.
So were you excluded from the process?
I don't.
Would you say you were excluded?
I wasn't asked for the process. I'll go that way.
Okay.
I wasn't asked.
And Lance just said, so he overtaxed the residents.
Well, yeah. So can you also explain this as the comptroller? When you say the tax increase was 13%, maybe you could have gotten away with 9%. Right. That overage goes back into the reserve fund?
Yeah. So realistically, the taxpayers paid to save their money.
The taxpayers
paid an extra 4.5% to keep it in the bank. I'll make it simple.
And now Lance just said, why doesn't he believe he wasn't included?
Why?
Well, I think you're taking a high road here.
I think you're right.
Yeah. All right, Councilman Frank Miola.
I'll take Councilman. I like that too.
I'm sorry. City Comptroller Frank Miola. Past Councilman.
Both start with a C. You're close enough.
Anything else I should ask Katie when she comes in at 8:30?
I asked Katie, her, we did have an influx, to the mayor's credit and our governor, of $5.6 million. Okay, that's very important for your budget this year.
Yeah. And
what are you going to do with the money?
What do you recommend?
Okay, well, give me a minute. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were setting me up. I thought you had the answers laid out.
No, you asked me to ask her a question, so I thought, okay. What I think financially what we should do, instead of taking, I think he wanted $2.4 million out of the savings account, the people's savings account, to balance the budget this year. So the fund balance, he needed to take out of the bank to balance his budget expenses, plus the 2.9 tax increase, okay? He needed, I think, maybe it's 2.6. I'm sorry, 2.6, okay? So we're getting an extra 5.8. So you minus the 2.6, right?
Yeah.
And what we have? We have
like 3.2.
3.8, something, I forgot, something like that. So that balance, okay, could be applied two ways. One, cut the taxes down to zero, okay? But I would take it one step further. The council, I believe, was going to cut it to zero anyways, prior to the influx of the extra money. So what to do with it? Pave more. If you got an extra $1.2, $1.3 million, throw it through the city streets. Give the people what they want. They want more paving.
Yeah.
They want to see more roads done. So if you have extra money, and it's, why not allocate it for something that the people want? They had a tax increase, almost 17% in the last 2 years, between a 13 and a 3 point something, so it's almost 17. Give them something that they can see. Give them more paving to the city streets.
City Comptroller Frank Miola, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
We'll take a quick time out. We've got a news update coming up. Coming up next hour, we'll talk with Mike Michonne. I know it doesn't look like it outside, but baseball's just around the corner, and American Legion baseball signups are about to get underway. We'll talk with Jared Halpern from Fox News Radio, a preview of President Trump's State of the Union address tonight. That and more coming up on WIBX.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
80 years ago in Little Falls, a dream was built, one board at a time. Through hard work, honesty, and a commitment to doing things the right way, that dream became 3 generations strong. A lot has changed over the past 8 decades, but our promise remains the same. Quality materials and personal service you can count on. Thank you to our customers for 80 incredible years. Little Falls Lumber, built on trust since day one, and we look forward to serving you in the future.
Our Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and Representative Elise Stefanik are standing up for radio listeners like us by supporting legislation to keep AM radio in cars. They know the value of local radio in times of emergency. Now it's time for Congress to finish the job and pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Learn more at dependonam.com. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley Mattress Express's President's Day sale is on from upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. No one else in New York State has all the brands under one roof that we do. And right now, save up to $1,350 on names like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish, Therapeutic, Simmons Beauty Rest, Black Serta, iComfort, Avocado, and more. A full line of spa-grade massage chairs take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans. In Rome, on Black River Boulevard in the Black River Plaza. In Oneida, in the Glenwood Plaza by the movie theaters. In New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. Go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. Don't overpay for your next mattress. Come to upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, Mattress Express.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica. From the WB Tate Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
President Trump talks to the nation tonight. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, delivering a State of the Union address to Congress. Fox's Aisha Hosni's at the White House.
The president is heading into this with a 44% approval rating, according to the latest Fox News polling. He doesn't believe in any of these polls, but it is similar to other second-term presidents like Obama and Bush. The biggest issue for Americans is the economy and affordability. The president also expected to highlight border security, one of his strongest polling issues, as the Department of Homeland Security continues to operate without federal funding as Democrats demand changes to ICE.
Now, at least 26 Democrats don't plan to be there, skipping tonight's speech. The president may also bring up conflicts overseas. Today marks 4 years since Russia invaded Ukraine, and that war still rages despite U.S.-brokered peace talks. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko, former heavyweight boxing champion, tells Fox.
Russia is aggressor, and we defend. We defend our homeland. We defend our future.
Iran's nuclear threat could also be part of the State of the Union tonight.
President Donald Trump's top general is highlighting the potential risks with striking Iran. Now, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane has warned it could lead to the possibility of a prolonged conflict in the region. It comes after the president said last week that if no deal is reached over Iran's nuclear program within the next 10 days, he could take military action.
That's Fox's Stephanie Bennett, and Fox has learned that Secretary of State Marco Rubio will talk to the Gang of 8 congressional intelligence leaders on the Iran issue, Republicans and Democrats, and that's going to be later on this afternoon. The cleanup continues from the blizzard that hit the Northeast. There are still more than 2,000 flights canceled today and more than 350,000 power outages. Some areas got over 3 feet of snow. America's listening to Fox News.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
There is new tension between the U.S. and France involving the top American diplomat there.
The U.S. ambassador to France, Charles Kushner, has been told to explain comments posted by his embassy about violent left-wing extremism being on the rise in France. It's over a shared post on X, originally written by the State Department's Counter-Terrorism Bureau. But Kushner yesterday ignored a summons over the issue. The French foreign minister says Ambassador Kushner's failure to turn up for the meeting will have consequences, such as being blocked from direct access to government ministers. Charles Kushner's son Jared is President Trump's son-in-law and a peace envoy. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
It's day 24 of the Nancy Guthrie search, and there is a renewed focus on that masked and gloved man seen on surveillance video around the time the 84-year-old disappeared.
Multiple news outlets are citing a single source or multiple sources who say that original Nest camera video on Nancy's doorstep, which was released by the FBI, might show the same masked figure, but on 2 different days, specifically pointing to one image of the suspect without the backpack as possibly an earlier date than the actual abduction on February 1st. But the Pima County Sheriff's Department calls it speculation.
Fox's Matt Finn in Tucson, Arizona. More legal fallout from the deadly July 4th flooding in Texas last year.
A new federal lawsuit claims Texas health officials failed to follow state law when they licensed Camp Mystic without making sure it had an evacuation plan. Parents of 9 children and counselors who died in July 4th flood are seeking damages and all other relief that is equitable. Camp Mystic's emergency instructions directed kids to stay in their cabins during floods, even though Texas rules require youth camps to have evacuation plans for disasters. The camp's current license is valid until March 6th. John Saucier, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures up modestly the morning after a big sell-off. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
We have cloudy skies, 11 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. News time is 8:05. This news update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. The city of Utica announcing details of an upcoming housing development in the city. Recently, Governor Kathy Hochul awarded $9 million in tax credits and subsidies for the Columbia Square apartment project. It'll be located on the north side of Whitesboro Street between DeWitt and Saratoga Streets, and the proposed project has been designed with a townhouse-style facade to fit into the context of the surrounding neighborhood. The project is expected to cost $18 million and will be the second housing project by DePaul in the city of Utica, the first being the Start Line Apartments on Dwyer Ave. The victims of a double homicide in Fort Plain have been identified by police, and they say it was the victim's son who carried out the horrific act. According to police, the bodies of 78-year-old Robert Robbins and 76-year-old Mary Robbins were found inside their Clinton Ave home on Friday. It's alleged their son, 45-year-old Robert Robbins Jr., beat his parents to death with a hammer and then called 911 to report the crime. Robbins Jr. remains behind bars without bail. An investigation into the incident is ongoing. Crews from across New York State gathering on Long Island to help clear roads as that major snowstorm put up to 3 feet of snow in parts of the Northeast. Workers from the New York State Department of Transportation in Watertown, Binghamton, and Utica were among those. NYS DOT crews from Utica also sent a snowblower to support the cleanup. Officials say the cleanup work continues and power outages are continuing in parts of the Northeast as well. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Cold Tuesday morning, and that cold weather will stick around as we head on through the day today, upper teens. 17 should do it, mainly cloudy. Wind chills will be below 0 early. Next change on deck tonight. Clipper coming through with some snow showers after midnight. Temperatures will fall to near 10 degrees. North Country a little bit colder. Then tomorrow we'll send some milder air in, and that means snow showers, maybe mixing with a little bit of rain, upper 30s, but northern Oneida County and points north, there are some winter weather advisories for not only snow from the low coming through, but then lake effect back behind it. Could be 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. I think here locally could be an inch or two of slushy accumulation. More snow showers are possible even on into tomorrow night. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies and 11 degrees at 8:08. All right, in sports, a new team sits atop the men's college basketball poll. Who is it, Smitty?
It's the Duke Blue Devils.
Yes, sir. Number one after earning 27 first-place votes. Arizona climbed to second, while Michigan and Houston dropped to 3 and 4. Iowa State and UConn are next, followed by Florida. Yes.
Well, Houston lost last night to Kansas, so they lost their third in a row, so they're gonna fall out of the top 5 this week, into next week for next week's poll.
Purdue, Gonzaga, and Nebraska round out the top 10. Alabama ranked 18th now, and Tennessee is 22nd. Some NBA action coming up tonight. The Knicks will take on Donovan Mitchell and the Cavaliers from Cleveland. The Knicks have won 2 straight entering tonight's game. The Nets also back in action. They square off against Chris Middleton and the Mavericks at home. Brooklyn has lost 4 straight games. College hoops. Syracuse does not play until Saturday. The Comets will play at the Adirondack. Let me double check that.
They have a game tomorrow?
Yes, they have a game
on
tomorrow.
The road.
They're on the road. That's correct. Against the Hershey Bears. They're back home to play Bellevue on Friday night.
And Syracuse plays 5:45 on Saturday. Odd time tip-off. Guess what time? 5:45.
Yeah, you just 5:45 is an odd time for tip-off. Smitty, what did I miss here? Oh, yeah, the Yankees beat the Pirates, spring training action yesterday, and the Mets beat the Blue Jays by a final of 4-3, if you're keeping track of preseason baseball.
Let's go to our good friend Utica Councilman Joe Beatrice wants to make some comments about the Frank Miola interview that we had last hour with us. Go. Hi, Joe. How are you this morning?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Hey,
I just want to make 3 quick. I want to make 3 quick points. Okay. Number one, when you're talking about the cellar in City Hall, there's always been locks on them. Okay, so it's not like the mayor came in here and she got caught with a backpack, a flashlight in the dark, and they put locks. He changed the locks. And I know from talking to people that were prior council people from 15 years back, they were locked. There was locks there. So that's number one. Number two, when he talks about $5.6 million of being funding, you have to remember you had in the mayor's budget $1.8 million of AIM funding was there. So it's great. The increase is $3.6 million. Okay, so that's what we're getting to play with now, not 5.6, because 1.8 was already in the budget.
Thank you.
The next thing I want to tell you about, you guys want to talk about overtime, okay? In parks and DPW, guys, okay? In the prior administration's first year, okay? They talk about Galini raising taxes 13%. Nobody talks about in Paul Mary's first year, he came in and raised taxes 12% and cut the police, fire, and depleted the DPW and Parks Garage that has never recovered from that since. So you want to talk about a guy cutting grass? There's 6-7 guys in the Parks Department. You got the DPW. You got 40 guys that used to have 80. Common sense is going to tell you. You guys all talk about salt, okay? When they have to use all that extra salt, you need bodies to spread that salt and bodies to plow. That's the reason there's overtime. I mean, you don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar to realize this stuff. Also, okay?
Go ahead.
Police and fire overtime. The police, I believe, and I'm talking off the top of my head, I think we're 16 police officers short. I think we're 12 firemen short. So what do you think happens? We don't go. We're not going to go to put the fire out, and we're not going to go arrest people that are doing things wrong. So the negativity around all this, I have to tell you, in my 7 years on the council, it's really, really getting me down, okay? There's a lot of positive stuff going on. And everything positive, we have to have somebody come out with something negative, okay, to take away from the positive news. So that's all I wanted to say. And thank you guys for letting me call in and vent what my issues are today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilman Joe Beatrice. I appreciate the phone call. So he made a fair point there with the increase in funding that the city of Utica is getting. There was AIM funding already included in there, so that's an increase. It's not the total $5.6 million. I think it's $3.8 million. What else did he mention? The locks on the basement at City Hall. Joe, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
I want to ask you about this because a couple people.
So wait, going back to the AIM funding.
Yeah.
Originally there was 1.8 in there,
right?
And now there's an additional 3.6.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
What do you make of Katie Iello going in the basement and looking through documents or a file or past legislation, whatever the case may be? I guess when I read the report from Corporation Counsel, a few people basically accused me of saying it was fishy. It just does. It sounds bizarre to me, and I sense that you think the same thing. I mean, why not go through a department head?
To be honest with you, I have to agree with Controller Miola. He's been there a lot longer than me. I never even knew until I got that memo. I never even knew this existed. Okay, and I know anything that I want as far as looking for legislation. I call Melissa, our clerk, or Angela, our deputy clerk, and ask them. It just happened. So we're doing a celebration in North Utica for 110 years of being, coming from Deerfield to Utica. I know 10 years ago they did a 100-year anniversary. I knew the city did a proclamation. I called Angela and said, hey, can you look up this for me and get me the legislation? So that's the way I do things. If I need something, I had a problem with trucks and different debris on people's properties. I called the codes officer or the codes commissioner, Marcus, talked to me, showed me what I needed to do. We passed legislation. I mean, I don't even know how to get in. I know how to get into the cellar. You know how I've been in the cellar? Because I have a badge to go to City Hall, go to the floors. And when I was leaving, I hit basement instead of garage, and all of a sudden it opened up, and I was like, what is this? And I never got out of the elevator. I just went, up.
Do all of the counselors have a badge? Do all of the counselors have a badge?
You have a badge to get into the parking garage, yeah. I believe they all do. I mean, I park my car there in the winter in the garage.
But not to get into the basement where the documents are stored? No. Well,
number one, they're all locked. You might be able to get into the basement, but you can't get into those cabinets without somebody giving you their key or combination, whatever, who's ever the head of that department.
Okay.
So, you could say you're supposed to be down there and you're a council person and have access to everything. You're 100% right. But if something's locked, I can't go to. So listen. What some people do and what I do are two different things. So, like all this right now, when I got this memo, I didn't want any of this to come out in the public. I, at a council meeting, could have asked these questions to Katie on the floor. I chose not to. I requested to go into executive session so we could ask quietly, so the public, the media, to keep this nonsense out of the public's eye. Okay, I got voted down, and they didn't want to go in. So that's it. So I have no take on this. I could care less. You do what you got to do. Joe Beatrice does what he does. Katie does what she does, and we move on from there.
So, Joe, just a quick follow-up to that. What was the measure you put forward? I think it was defeated 6-3 to not go into executive session to discuss this, and it was a complete party line vote, right?
No, I believe it was 5-4.
Oh, 5-4. Okay.
Voted down. Yeah.
And what would it have done?
And I just wouldn't have done nothing. It would have kept. I mean, you could have asked the question, "What is this about?" She would have told us, and that's it. You know, I mean, this is. I don't even know why this is even anybody's talking about this now. This happened over a month ago. So,
well,
it is what it is.
So, Joe, hold on. The reason we're talking about it, though, is because it was brought to my attention. The Corporation Council issued a report on it, and it makes me wonder what she was doing down there. She still has a lawsuit against the city, doesn't she?
Listen. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm saying it was happened so long ago. I'm not sure why it just came out now. You know what I mean? It said confidential. I kept it confidential. I didn't say anything about it. I wanted to be with my council people in a room and say, hey, what's going on? And she could have said, hey, I'm just looking for something. It was nothing or whatever. They didn't want to do that. So everybody wants to talk about, oh, this one's got something to hide. This one's got something to hide. If she had nothing to hide, they would have said, let's go into executive session. She could have told us what happened, okay? They didn't want to do that. So now, guess what? Now it's aired out all over the place, which to me, I think is ridiculous. I think we got so many more problems in this city to worry about Katie with a flashlight going in the basement. Yeah, I mean, yeah, do I think it's wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely wrong. But it doesn't matter to me. It's like I told you guys before. We have 3 Republican votes on the council. I've been on there for 7 years. My vote has meant nothing, okay? And I'll go back to my pet peeve, okay? For 4 years there, under the prior administration, I watched legislation come down 15 minutes before a council meeting. Nobody said put anything in committee. Boom, they voted on it. Did I ever come out there and tell Mayor Palmieri, oh, I don't trust you, you're a liar, like they talk about our mayor now? Listen, you could like the guy or you could dislike him. He's the mayor. Have some respect publicly for him, okay? That's the bottom line. If you got a problem, do what I did. I go up and talk to Palmieri. I go in his office. I ended up with a very good relationship with him, okay? But I laugh at all this stuff, how they just, everything have, okay, from Val Biales to AIM funding. The next day, we come out with a video, we come out with negative messaging to divert the positives that are going on in this city. It's a disgrace.
Joe,
it's a total disgrace.
Joe, I really appreciate the phone call, and anytime you want to highlight something, please don't hesitate to come on and share it with the audience.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
day. That's Utica Councilman Joe Beatrice. We'll quickly switch gears and go to Jared Halpern from Fox News Radio. President Trump preparing for his State of the Union address tonight, 9 o'clock. Good morning, Jared. How are you?
I'm well. Good morning.
Thank you for waiting there as we were wrapping up that last segment. Now, this comes with a partial government shutdown continuing now. I guess it's 11 days, but over funding about the Department of Homeland Security. I would imagine the president will address that in some fashion tonight.
I assume he will, probably in the context of all of, the Secret Service agents and other kind of federal officials who are there protecting the space, and also in the broader context of the president wanting to highlight what he has accomplished at the border, right? We hear the president a lot talk about shutting down the border, the need to carry out these deportation operations, these enforcement operations. He has been critical of what he has viewed as sanctuary policies from Democratic governors and mayors. So I do think that will be a big part of what the president talks about. I think what I will be listening for is, does he have any kind of proposals for Congress to move forward to try and end this shutdown? Remember, this is ultimately going to take some sort of funding agreement between Republicans and Democrats. The other major hitting point for the president tonight will be the economy. The economy is front and center. It is issue 1A for voters. It is an issue in which President Trump has pretty poor approval ratings. The latest Fox News poll showed that 70% of voters do not view the economy as being good right now. That is not the number that the president wants heading into a midterm election. And so the president's challenge tonight is going to be selling his economic agenda, selling his economic policies, explaining how they are going to make things more affordable, how are they going to benefit most Americans, his call to Congress to perhaps codify some of what he has done, maybe on prescription drug prices, maybe on the tariffs that the Supreme Court has slapped down. So I will be listening for that. And I think the other big flashpoint, obviously, that would be hard to ignore is Iran. There is now as large a military buildup in the Middle East as the United States has seen in decades. I have heard from a lot of analysts that you do not have that kind of firepower in that region unless you intend to use it. Will this be a speech in which President Trump makes his case for potential conflict with Iran? Is it a speech in which he makes clear his demands of Iran? Will it be a speech perhaps similar to what we heard from President Bush in 2003 in the run-up to the war in Iraq, in which he described the axis of evil and made clear why there is a U.S. interest in dismantling the regime in Iraq? I don't know if that's going to be a big part of the president's speech, but it certainly comes at a time where there is an awful lot of military buildup and shuttle diplomacy happening between the United States and Iran.
Yes, and Jared, before we let you go, I think at last count I saw it was a dozen, but there are several Democrats who plan to boycott tonight's.
I think it's up. I think the last list I saw was almost 40.
Oh, my goodness.
Mostly on the House side, a few on the Senate side. That's an element to watch, too. Listen, these are now made for TV events. These are made for social media events. A year ago, you saw Al Green, the Texas Democrat, removed from the chamber for shaking his cane and interrupting President Trump. Do we have a moment like that? You know, Democrats certainly, Republicans had those moments with President Biden during his States of the Union. Yeah, I think that's something to watch for as well. How much give and take is there? President Trump is generally not one to let those moments just kind of, go, by the wayside, right? He's somebody that's going to respond and react. So I think that's something to watch for as well. You're right.
Jared Halpern from Fox News Radio, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be watching.
Sure thing.
We'll take a quick timeout and come back with more. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit of baseball. American Legion baseball signups are just around the corner. And I'll give a reminder about the umpire class, which begins on Monday, by the way, March 2nd. And Councilperson Katie Iello scheduled to join us. Coming up in just a few minutes, it's First News Keeler in the Morning on WIBX.
Attention patriotic Americans. To honor the 250th anniversary of American independence, the United States Mint is striking a groundbreaking American Silver Eagle coin. The 1776 to 2026 W American Silver Eagle is the first dual-dated coin in this series' history. Its inspiring dual date pays tribute to our nation's founding fathers, the Declaration of Independence in 1776, and the spirit of the American Revolution that lives on today in 2026. Now is your chance to get this first of its kind dual-dated American Silver Eagle in perfect proof 70 Ultra Cameo condition, like nothing collectors have ever seen. But hurry, pre-sale slots are limited. With mintage of just 500,000 coins, this release is a true absolute rarity. Secure your 250th anniversary Silver Eagle now with Rare Collectibles TV exclusive pre-sale. Call 800-925-1544 now before they sell out. That's 800-925-1544. 800-925-1544.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service. Family owned and operated since 1980, Tallman's is proud to provide trusted professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com. ZipRecruiter.com.
It's time for a Utica tradition, America's greatest Heart Run and Walk on March 7th. And on March 6th, it's the 55th anniversary of the WIBX Heart Radiothon. Sponsored by the Slocum-Dixon Medical Group this year, the Radiothon started when local runners honored the passing of WIBX personality Ralph Ellinger. They ran for 18 miles and raised money for the American Heart Association. Celebrate with us on March 6th. Hear from Slocum-Dixon doctors about ways to be healthy. Cheer on participants in the treadmill challenge and help fight heart disease.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
80 years ago in Little Falls, a dream was built, one board at a time. Through hard work, honesty, and a commitment to doing things the right way, that dream became 3 generations strong. A lot has changed over the past 8 decades, but our promise remains the same. Quality materials and personal service you can count on. Thank you to our customers for 80 incredible years. Little Falls Lumber, built on trust since day one, and we look forward to serving you in the future.
If you're like most Americans nearing retirement with money in a 401k or IRA, then listen carefully. The U.S. dollar is under pressure. Foreign nations are reducing reliance on the dollar, and some analysts are openly warning about the long-term stability of U.S. currency dominance. Whether you call it currency debasement or the collapse of the dollar, the risk is real. And when confidence in the U.S. dollar shifts, gold and silver historically respond. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000 to get your free gold investment kit. You'll also receive a free copy of Ken Rogoff's book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Most American retirement accounts are dramatically underallocated to precious metals, even as central banks continue buying gold at record levels. Many Americans are rolling over a portion of their retirement savings into physical gold and silver, tax and penalty-free with Advantage Gold. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000. Results vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Light snow and 11 degrees at 8:30. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. President Trump's first State of the Union speech in his second term is set for tonight. Many Democratic lawmakers are planning to boycott the address before a joint session of Congress. It comes as polling shows more and more voters are souring on President Trump's performance in office this time around. Flights to and from some parts of Mexico have been canceled or rescheduled after cartel violence exploded after the killing of a notorious drug lord by the Mexican army. Visitors in the resort city of Puerto Vallarta have been asked to stay indoors for now. Violence in other parts of the country has subsided and things are returning to normal. American Airlines, United, and Delta are waiving fees for those going through Guadalajara and Puerto Vallarta over the next few days. The Department of Homeland Security is without funding for an 11th day, with Congress at an impasse over ending the partial government shutdown. States of emergency Democrats have demanded reforms to ICE operations amid the Trump administration's crackdown across the country. The Senate is expected to take up a procedural vote today on whether to take a funding bill, but it's unlikely to get the 60 votes needed to pass. Power still out for hundreds of thousands of northeasterners after a record-setting snowstorm pummeled the region. The storm prompted numerous states of emergency and resulted in blizzard conditions and massive amounts of snow, with totals up to 30 inches in some parts of the Northeast. Meanwhile, out west, an avalanche watch is in effect for California's Tahoe Basin backcountry. And actor Robert Carradine is dead at the age of 71, a member of the famous family of actors. Carradine took his own life after a years-long battle with bipolar disorder. Carradine was best known for his work on films like The Long Riders, Revenge of the Nerds, and the TV series Lizzie McGuire. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 8:32. Here's your Weather Center forecast.
Cold Tuesday morning, and that cold weather will stick around as we head on through the day today. Upper teens, 17 should do it. Mainly cloudy. Wind chills will be below zero early. Next change on deck tonight. Clipper coming through with some snow showers after midnight. Temperatures will fall to near 10 degrees. North Country a little bit colder. Then tomorrow we'll send some milder air in, and that means snow showers, maybe mixing with a little bit of rain. Upper 30s, but northern Oneida County and points north, there are some winter weather advisories for not only snow from the low coming through, but then lake effect back behind it. Could be 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. I think here locally could be an inch or two of slushy accumulation. More snow showers are possible even on into tomorrow night. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, some light snow, 11 degrees at 8:33. We go back to the phone lines. Mike Michonne is joining us, and Mike does a lot with Legion Baseball. In fact, Mike, are you the state commissioner?
Well, good morning, everyone. The answer to that is yes.
Yes, so I know there's a lot of responsibility that goes with that. But you're on this morning to remind parents and kids to get ready for the upcoming Legion baseball season.
Yeah, and just a couple points. This has been the 101st year for American Legion Baseball, so it is the oldest youth program in America. And I'd just like to remind the parents about some of the practical benefits of playing Legion. And it's not too late to sign up. We still have teams that have openings, which is typical this time of the year, and so they shouldn't feel like it's too late. Although I have to admit that where Legion tends to be a little bit different is our coaches are pretty invested in the program, so they work hard all year long, looking for players. But as there's so many factions in baseball, with travel ball and everything else, that there's still openings. So I just want to make them kind of aware of that. And certainly the simplest thing is to go right to our website, which it's going to be for them to go and look and sign up or reach out to someone. It's nylegionbaseball.com, nylegionbaseball.com. Simplest way to reach me or one of the guys that are on our committee. So, there's a lot of structure in Legion Baseball. And Jeff, I know you know that.
For sure.
We're, even all the way down to dress code, where most of the other programs don't have that. We do. Our coaches are mandated to, wear baseball pants, a top, the hat. You're not going to go out in flip-flops. You're not going to go out in shorts. And it's all part of the presentation, but I think it also ends up equating to quality. And I think everybody, feels pretty adamant about that. We've never had any coaches complain, about the look of what American Legion looks like on the field.
Mike,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, can you, obviously you're trying to get more kids signed up to play Legion Baseball. I can say I've seen over the last couple of years, we have some local teams disappearing. We have some teams that are adding junior Legion programs, which is like a modified level program, but other local teams are losing their Legion and senior Legion programs. Can you talk about the effort to get numbers up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can also, tell you that there's that's a fairly consistent thing year in, year out. There's, ebbs and flows of legacy coaches more than anything. The teams that are solid for the most part years are because the coaches have been there for a long time. Once you start losing, coaches like the Abones and Engelhardt and people like that, Engelhardt with Whitestown, Abone with Smith Post, those are guys that have been around for 35, 40 years. And there's a culture there that brings kids to those teams. So when you have a transition in coaching, you also have that same transition in what I would say is, the uncertainty of what that program is going to be. And unless there's a real significant addition in the coaching staff that is perceived, and I use that word heavily, is perceived to be the same as or better you will see a little bit of that. We got that going on right now, Jeff, as I'm sure you know. We lost Paul Engelhart about 2 years ago, and Whitestown has been in a state of flux, and they're rebuilding their program from the bottom up. And what we're expecting is they'll be back as a senior team next year. And when they'll come back, they'll be formidable because they got the talent. And going through the same thing with Smith Post, those are two names right there that no one would ever think would be in a state of flux. That they're going to be there. Having said that, we're also from a statewide look, and I'm talking about the 5th district now, which is our district. From a statewide look, we're going to have 30 teams from the prep all the way up to the seniors. And, we've the way it's structured is the district that has the most number of teams from the bottom to the top has the ability to send 2 teams into the state championship, which is what happened last year, and actually the year before. So we have 30 teams, and this year we got 6 junior teams. We got 6 senior teams, we got 14 junior teams, and we got 10 prep teams. And we got room, especially down on the bottom. We got room to add players and add teams, and we're looking forward, into the future. What we feel like it looks very good for us. We've also seen an increase across the state, which is good for Legion Baseball, because Legion Baseball did suffer, the loss of teams, in general. I've been doing this now for 55 years. When I started coaching, let alone having played, when I started coaching, there was about 235 teams throughout New York State.
Wow.
And, the bigger wow is we're down to 72, but we're also up from 59. In 2025, we'll have 72 throughout the state in 26. So part of the reality that's hitting a lot of districts is there's an inherent value, a financial value to American Legion that, it makes sense to participate in it. The cost is manageable at almost every level, whereas, I guess you would call them our rival. We don't do that. I don't do that anyways. I don't look at travel ball as a rival. I look at it as another place that people can spend their money, and the value is, in my opinion, is way in favor of Legion for the whole experience. So we're going pretty good throughout the state and growing. The Rochester area, by the way, I'm sure you know this, with your involvement with the Rochester area, Grease Post in Rochester was the first New York team to go to the World Series, and since 2001, I think it was. It's like 23 years since we've had a New York State team actually go to the World Series. So we're seeing quality as well, and that's a big issue for us. Quality is a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there's people who say, well, the better players are going someplace else. And at the end of the day, the better players, it's a perception, because, we're small in the total scheme of baseball, certainly in the country. But, in all aspects where we are, we've got quality players. We got players that play at the D1 level. We got players that play, D2, 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Top JUCO schools. We may not have quantity in terms of numbers, but we definitely have quality. And college coaches, listen, I'm talking to college coaches all the time. College coaches all say the same thing. What's going on with Legion Baseball? What's going on with Legion Baseball? We want Legion Baseball to come back. And my answer to them is always the same. The only reason why you're not happy with Legion Baseball is because you keep going to one location to see 500 kids instead of coming to, let's say, Legion Baseball and coming to watch a Martinez from Utica Post who's now going to go to play at Stetson, one of the better D1 programs in the country.
Mm-hmm.
But you're missing that,
So
that's kind of where we are.
Mike, I appreciate you taking some time with us this morning. Again, the website is nylegionbaseball.com, and we hope to see more kids out there playing. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jeff.
I'll just mention as well, Mohawk Valley Baseball Umpires Association classes for this new year, 2026, begin on March 2nd. That's coming up on Monday from 6 to 8:30 in the cafeteria at Notre Dame. So if you're interested, come on out and join us. Katie Iello in studio. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How's it going?
Thanks for coming in to join us.
Yeah.
So we got a couple things we're going to tackle this morning, but I got to ask you about the basement thing. All right, what happened? In your words, what happened?
Yeah, this is, where do we even begin? The mayor wrote a narrative about what he thinks happened. I was shocked. Well, for starters, I didn't even know we didn't have access to the basement. That's something that actually has to be addressed if that's the case, because we do have rights and access to our records. And I've been going down for 4 years. It was never a problem until the mayor started figuring out that I do.
Really? So it's kind of outlined in here that you needed a badge to access. You were in an area that's a secure area.
Yeah, so a lot of the doors do have, everything has like a badge to get in if you want to get into any of the offices. When we say basement, it's not like this scandalous mystery room. That's just literally the big space where records are kept.
Mm-hmm.
It is well lit, actually. And
they were saying a couple times they said you were down there in the dark.
No, it was well lit. There's one part where it is darker. The lights could be on, but I had my phone flashlight on to see what I needed because I was there for like 2 minutes. And that wasn't the point of being down there the whole time. So we've always had this. I don't know what the problem is. The mayor didn't talk to me directly about any of it. We got the policy of his recommendation, but like I said, we need to address some things because I have rights to see this information.
What were you looking for?
I don't even remember that day. Probably the budgets from, dude, there's so much. I love it down there. You can look at building permits.
You go down there all the time, you're saying?
It's incredible. Yeah. And there's building permits from the 1940s. You can look at budget books from the 80s. You can look at, it's like a whole museum. I don't know what to tell you. I know that might sound crazy, but that's what I love.
I guess it does sound odd. I'm just going to go back and
it's actually funny. I left here that day. And then I went there and I just did my rounds like I normally do. And I was on Keeler that morning.
So let me see here, because they referenced this area as...
Okay, and then they said that they changed the locks on the doors.
Yeah.
So there are rooms, like these little mini side rooms. The door was opened. I don't know. So that one was unlocked. They didn't have to change the lock. If they just asked me, they would have known. I didn't have a key to that. But yeah, now I guess the locks are changed on that one too.
Okay, this is from Corporation Counsel. You attribute this to the mayor, but this came from the Corporation Counsel's office. Are you saying he just told them what to say?
Yeah, they don't care about that. I mean, maybe there's no policy or any law that I broke. They don't cite any, that's for sure.
Another City Hall employee later entered the basement and witnessed Councilperson Iello in a secure area housing records of the Comptroller's office in the dark. As a reminder, the Comptroller's office possesses records with personal information, such as Social Security numbers, bank account information, healthcare information. This employee later reported the security breach. So they do refer to it as a security breach.
Well, that's crazy, because I'm going to read Section 40 of Second-Class Cities, and it says, the Common Council has powers to investigate all city officers and departments and shall have access to all records and papers kept by every city officer or department. And then Section 241, books and papers to be public records. All books, papers, and documents filed with or constituting a part of the records or proceedings of any officer, board, or department of the city shall be deemed to be public records and shall, during office hours, be open to public inspection. So they can say there's a lock on there and stuff, but like these are public documents. They want it to be like a scandalous thing of going through private HIPAA information. I've never even seen that down there. It's not like we're going through police records. That's in a whole different building. This is just your everyday public documents, not only for me as a council member, but also as me on the board of ENA. So I think it's a nothing. The past 3 weeks I've talked about, I think the deficit's a sham. It's not as high as they say because it sounds better when you're trying to tax people. The mayor spent millions more on extra salaries and overtime we never budgeted for.
So I want
and
to
the
talk
reason we can is because he overtaxed.
I want to talk about the $2.1 million and overtime and stuff like that too. So how long have you been on the council? 4
years.
This is only your first term?
It's 2-year terms. I did 2 terms. I'm on like my 5th year.
Okay.
Technically right now.
How many times would you say you've been down there? Have you done this throughout the whole 5 years?
Yeah.
Nobody's ever said anything to you.
So here's what it was. In January 2022, I wasn't hitting it off with Paul Mary. I was always suspicious of everything. I was pretty anti-establishment. I go in the office one day and another time, and Paul Mary's like, enough, whatever you want. Here, we're not hiding anything. Opens up all the filing cabinets. Says, have at it. We're here till 4:30. This was in his office. He's like, wherever you want to go, you're welcome. We're not hiding anything. It's public information. And that's how I got to know Heather Mowat, Mike Mahoney. That's how I got to know everything I know because I just wanted to keep learning. And that's why it was such a different culture then. Now, my key fob, this is why I don't have access. It doesn't even work on the front door of City Hall. So it's just a different place right now.
What else did I want to ask? Did you need a key to access certain areas?
Sometimes the doors are locked on certain offices, but that day that it wasn't.
And do you have a pass or a badge?
I have a badge that doesn't even work on the front doors of City Hall.
Right. So
I guess also the basement is every city employee has access to the basement. So why a council person would have less rights and access, I don't know.
Well, and I tried to make this point yesterday. I certainly think you should have access to the information that you need. The way it's described in this memo sounds very
weird.
Dora Iello, flashlight, backpack.
I always have a backpack. I'm holding it up right now. I know nobody's on. I carry this.
The hoodie down. So
just because they're paranoid doesn't mean I was being suspicious. And all it takes is a confirmation. Like one of the things on there is she was looking at 1980s or maybe 2016 budgets. That's not contradicting information. I was looking at everything. That's
okay.
And I think it's, I made a point of they can't control what you're saying. They want to control what you can see. And they don't want a government that has access. Well, that's why they're building walls in City Hall right now.
Hold on, though. Let me ask you. Again, I support your right to be able to go in and review information as it relates to legislation, documents, budgets, etc., just as any member of the public would have access to that. But they're claiming, again, the phrase breach of security, like this was a secure area that you weren't supposed to be in, that nobody's supposed to be in there wandering around, especially as they claim, like in the dark.
Well, it wasn't in the dark. And if it was in the dark, how did they know I was down there? The light was on. The camera was working. I know there's cameras all over City Hall. It's like the Truman Show. I'm like, I know as soon as I'm in that building, all eyes are like, what's Katie Iello doing? This isn't a breach of security. Show me what policy or anything that ever was a thing.
Okay.
That's all. That's my take on it. But thank you for asking.
And then one more. Were you looking for budgets? 80s, 2016
Oh,
budgets,
all of them. I love going back to
Yeah,
1938.
You're suing the city, right? Or
Yep.
city officials. And what is this? What is that about again?
The mayor instilled. So every elected officials can only get raises based on a formula that started in 1983, and that's based off inflation with the CPI. Now we've for several years gone off the national CPI. That's only if it's over 3%, you get a raise. If it's under, you don't yet. You can only get a max of 6% raise. The mayor in 2024, CPI was above the 3%. He could have done raises. He didn't. So his second year in 2025, it was below 3%. We shouldn't have been getting raises.
The regional.
He goes, no, we're going off the northeastern rate.
Right.
I'm like, no. You can't just add the word to it. So that's kind of my take with it. The council even voted it down. He overrode our veto. Or we did the veto, he overrode it. So that's why we're here. That's another side point.
All right. So your take here is this is much ado about nothing.
Yeah.
All right. So
sorry, it's not as exciting.
Let's highlight some stuff you want to get into. Let's see, $2.1 million in funding and the overtime issue.
Mm-hmm.
There has been an issue in the city with overtime, right? Because I remember not too long ago, I guess maybe it was longer than I thought, but the city couldn't get people to mow the lawns. Like the medians in the city were all overgrown. They couldn't keep people in I think it was the Parks Department or maybe DPW.
The medians were the state. That was a little bit of an issue, but we got that sorted out.
But that's been an ongoing issue, right? Finding employees to work for the city in these departments?
Yeah, a lot of the departments, for sure. I mean, we're down, 15 police officers? I think we're down 9 firefighters. These are vacant positions, and if anybody wants a good job and benefits, come work for the city. We'd love to have you. But, I think Parks and DPW is getting a little bit more filled. I know this budget, they added a DPW worker. But a lot of the stuff, when positions are vacant, that does require overtime. So we are paying more to try to staff these hours that we need staffed, other than if we just had somebody. There's a lot of things that can happen that do require overtime. We do budget for it. The city budgets $40.1 million for salaries, overtime, like we plan for it. My concern is we went $2 million on top of that over it without council approval. And we just got to start correcting that, because anything over $15,000 in transfers, you need to come to us first. We set the budget. It's the mayor's job to stay within it.
Do you know why it was $2 million over? Are you alleging that there was some impropriety?
I figured we would all look at the numbers and just agree like that black and white ink says the same number. But we got to apparently start there, because they disagree that it's $2.1 million. I said, okay, show me your numbers. I didn't think the numbers part would be the controversy. I thought we'd get to the narrative of his justification. We're not there yet. I keep saying, okay, here's all my data. You guys say I'm doing it wrong. Here's your budgets and your spreadsheets I subtracted from. And they won't give me their number. So that's why I go in the basement and look for my own answers.
We're talking with councilperson Katie Iello. It is 8:54. We'll take a quick timeout and come back with more. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-869-2045 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-869-2045. That's 800-869-2045. What do you have to lose? Call 800-869-2045. Again, 800-869-2045.
80 years ago in Little Falls, a dream was built, one board at a time. Through hard work, honesty, and a commitment to doing things the right way, that dream became 3 generations strong. A lot has changed over the past 8 decades, but our promise remains the same. Quality materials and personal service you can count on. Thank you to our customers for 80 incredible years. Little Falls Lumber, built on trust since day one, and we look forward to serving you in the future.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
Hi, Billy Mays here with the brand new Keeler Kill Switch. When that morning show starts yapping about something you can't stand, don't reach for the dial. Just press this big red button and BAM!
This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, a couple comments here as we wrap things up on a Tuesday morning. Councilperson Katie Iello in studio with us. Dora the Explorer, I guess.
Another nickname.
Lance says, so it sounds like she does her own legwork for information. Sounds ambitious to me. Maybe the mayor should take note as to what ambition looks like. And then he says, ask her why she thinks. Okay, two things. Ask if the shell game describes Galimi's budget process.
That's a wait. What's the question? Describe it.
He keeps calling it the budget a shell game because funding is being transferred. And you say anything over $15,000 needs council approval.
Yep.
That's not happening.
It all happened. $4.8 million of transfers happened July 2025, 3 months after the budget books closed. So all the accounts went in the red of all of those major ones. We had the money to cover it, but that's because $4.8 million of those accounts were under budget. Came in under budget. And some of it's, it's only like $10,000 and it's like, good job you didn't spend the whole line. Some of it is in 2024, I looked at everybody and said, guys, this healthcare line is $1.4 million over budget. Let's remove $1.2 million. Okay, let's leave a little wiggle room. They said, absolutely not. You're crazy. Not going to happen. Sam said, do you bet your life on it? I said, yes. Here are the numbers now. They came in $1.5 million under budget from what the mayor said. So that $1.5 million, they taxed people anyway, and then they used it however they wanted. And that it was about 4.5% of the tax hike. So we have
Frank was talking about that last hour.
Numbers we have expenses that are over projected. We have some revenues that are under projected, and right now that equation costs the taxpayers more.
Let's see. Why do you think Miola was not included in the budget process? Any thoughts on that?
It's a really, again, like this administration is doing things different, and they used to like meet with every department head. I don't know what that experience looks like now. Maybe they did in November and Frank didn't get there till January, but I doubt that.
Mark says, not every record is public information. When I was on the council, if I wanted something, I asked for it. I didn't go looking for it myself. So why not? This is all spin. Don't fall for it. Seriously, she is hiding her real intentions. You want to react to that?
No. I do want to react. That I disagree. That it is public information. If there's something that isn't supposed to be there, it's to be redacted. And that's...
All right. We unfortunately are out of time. I appreciate you coming in to join us.
Anytime. Thank you so much. And it's budget week. We'll be there every night.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Tain Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
We'll hear from President Trump in 12 hours. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Going to Congress to address the nation, a State of the Union speech with a big focus on
everyday Americans who are directly benefiting from his policies and making a few new policy announcements as well to continue tackling the affordability crisis that Joe Biden created.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt tells Fox the address will also celebrate America's 250th birthday.
He is going to share the stories of great American heroes who exemplify bravery and the spirit of 1776.
New Olympic heroes will also be there tonight. Gold medalists, the U.S. men's hockey team has been invited. Some will go the day after a big homecoming from Italy. Zach Werenski, who set up the gold medal game-winning overtime goal, tells Fox.
It was incredible last night being home, being in front of our fans, seeing everyone in the streets of Miami. You just can't make it up.
More than 36 Democrats and an independent will not attend tonight, boycotting the president's speech in Congress as they keep holding up Homeland